You are now tuned into Somewhere in the Middle with Sunni and Mo.
Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay.
Hey, Don on the beat.
I got so many ops.
Everywhere I go, I
got so many ops.
so many ops.
I know they plotting against me. I know it's hate, they wanna kill me, but please don't tempt me, cause I got so many glocks. Hey, ain't none of them empty. Jesus said they would hate me too. That's how I know it's in me. I got so many ops.
Hey guys, what's up? What's up? I am getting, or actually we are getting on here. Suni's going to join us. She's just off camera real quick. She's on a call. We wanted to get on here early so that we could just kind of warm up the audience a little bit in preparation to watch the upcoming DeSantis Newsom debate. So welcome to the channel. If you can, please make sure that you are liking this video, sharing this video, subscribing to the channel. Please don't forget that we are only, I think, a little bit over 200 subscribers away from reaching 500 subscribers, which will get us monetized. So we would really appreciate if you hit that subscribe button. And we're about 30 minutes out from the debate. I just got a programming alert that it will be starting soon. So we're going to keep our eye on the live and make sure that we see it. Hey, Aaron. Hey, Christine. So we're going to make sure that we start it as soon as we see it come up. Okay. So we wanted to make sure you guys are here on time, prepared for what we're going to see. It's always very difficult to jump in and comment on these debates while they're actually debating. But I'm sure that there's going to be some programming breaks for advertising and whatnot. So we'll definitely jump in there. Hey, Amy, welcome, welcome. So I'm glad a lot of you guys are joining. So I pulled up this great article and I'll go ahead and jump into this article so that we can kind of get prepared for what we expect to see for this debate. And as you guys come in, say hello, tell us where you're watching from. Tell us what your predictions are for this debate. Do you think Sean Hannity is going to be questioning or asking good questions and moderating this debate appropriately? Do you think one candidate or the other has the upper hand? I personally think that this is a very important debate. Some people have messaged me when we posted about that we were going to be having this live that they were like, what's the point in Gavin Newsom debating? He's not even in the presidential debates that are going on. Well, you guys, it has been a long time prediction, and it's no secret, okay, that our current president is not in the best of condition. And I think that this is Gavin Newsom dipping his toe in the water to see what the response is going to be. I think he might potentially be somebody that is going to eventually enter into this presidential debate. And, it would be wise of him to do something like this. So, hey, Marla from Illinois. Hey, Wendy. Welcome, welcome. So, I don't know. I mean, I think that this is a very important debate. It is basically red state versus blue state. You're seeing a governor who has governed Ron DeSantis, who has governed his state in a very different way than Gavin Newsom has governed his state. He seems to think he's got a lot of support. You talk to people that actually live in California, they can't stand the guy. So, we will see. But, Gavin Newsom is interesting. I mean, to me, he's much like an Obama type figure where he is very charming. The ladies seem to really love him. Ron DeSantis kind of has the same thing. So it's an interesting dynamic. Hey, Suni. Hey, what's up? I have you on mute because you were on your phone call. Got her off mute.
What's up, y'all? What's up?
What's up? Okay. So I was telling everybody that I don't know if you found a different stream, but I did get I don't know what this is. I got a notification that it's going to be going live, but it says I don't have a subscription on Fox, so I don't know what the heck. So we'll probably have to find a stream on Rumble.
Yes.
All right. Well, let me.
I'm sorry.
While Suni's working on that, I'm going to read to you guys a little article here that Fox just put out on what to expect ahead of these debates going into tonight's episodes of versus Gavin versus Ron. So it says here it's a high-profile general election style debate amid the presidential primary season, pitting two relatively young and very well-known governors of two large states who have a knack for grabbing national attention. Democrat Governor Gavin Newsom of California and Republican Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida has been trading fire for nearly 2 years. They will tangle once again on Thursday tonight to go face-to-face on primetime. DeSantis, who is running for the 2024 GOP presidential nomination, see that they're already predicting that, and Newsom, who Republican critics charge is running a shadow campaign for the White House, even though he repeatedly stomps on such speculation as ridiculous, will face off in a debate moderated by Sean Hannity. And I actually read that wrong. So we already know DeSantis is running for president. It has not been publicly announced that Newsom is running for president. I just watched a CNN interview that he did, and he put his full support behind Biden. But these people love to stab each other in the back. They eat their own, so I wouldn't be surprised. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if they said, "Oh, Biden." Newsflash: Biden's losing his marbles. He's not in a state to run a country, so in any mental state to run a country. So your choices are going to be Gavin Newsom or Michelle Obama. That's my prediction. That's really what my prediction is. I don't think anybody else that we have seen on these stages is going to be a factor, not in the GOP debates. And I haven't even paid attention to who's running in the Democratic debates, because it's only going to be Biden or Newsom or Michelle Obama. Mark my words. That's what I think.
We shall see.
You shall see. All right. So the showdown is titled DeSantis versus Newsom, the Great Red versus the Blue State debate. It takes place in northern Georgia in the booming city of Alpharetta, which is part of the metropolitan Atlanta, Georgia, once a deep red state, which has become a top general election battleground between the two major political parties. Even before the face-to-face meeting, verbal shots were being fired by these two contenders. He caters to a very far left slice of electorates. I think that will be on display when we have the debate, DeSantis said, as he spoke with Fox News Digital last week on the presidential campaign trail. Newsom, in recent appearances on Fox, Hannity said of DeSantis, "I don't like people who demonize other people or go after vulnerable communities. I also don't like liars."
Okay.
He's all those things.
All those things and more. But
he literally just painted a picture of himself. What the heck?
What do we know, right? What do we know?
Exactly.
So I can't find a stream. The only thing I'm finding is other people streaming it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see where they're streaming it from, and I can't seem to find it.
Well, I'm willing to bet that they have a subscription to Fox News. Is what I'm thinking. I mean,
I
if
have
we
Blaze TV, but I don't know if Blaze TV is going to show it.
Yeah, I think she is already looking on Rumble. I mean, as a worst case scenario, we'll watch it on somebody else's stream, but it always sucks because then we have to hear their commentary as well.
Yeah, effing sucks.
It effing sucks, but it'll be on. It'll be on here somewhere. It always is. All right. So DeSantis wants a clear alternative to former President Trump in the 2024 GOP nomination race, has seen his standing erode over the summer and autumn. He is currently battling with former UN ambassador and former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley for second place in the polls. That's like super sad.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
Like if Nikki Haley is like who you're battling, I don't know that you're doing that good.
Can you imagine that being your contender as a man? Like, can you imagine that?
I know.
That's who your opponent is. That has to
It's
suck.
It's like
Because the only thing she does is use her vagina as like an excuse or a reason she's so cool.
When you're in a sporting event, you're competing like against a trans person. It's just like not an even. Okay, so competing Nikki Haley for second place, far behind Trump, who remains the commanding Republican frontrunner as he makes his third straight White House run. Pundits see the Hannity showdown as a possible breakout opportunity for DeSantis a week ahead of the fourth GOP presidential nomination debate. Okay, so I want to stop right there because I agree. Like, this could either be really bad for DeSantis and he's going to look even more like a simp, because my thing is this, okay? DeSantis might say all the right things that people like to hear, but he just doesn't exude that like manly take charge type thing. I mean, I know he does do that type of stuff in some respects. But up against a guy like Gavin Newsom, who is like a beat your chest type of guy, I don't know. I don't know what that's going to look like. And that's what's going to make this really, really interesting to me to see how they come out.
I think he's going to get his ass kicked. I'm
DeSantis?
not even going to hold you. Yeah. I don't think it's going to end well for DeSantis. He's not a debater, from what I can see.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to get his ass handed to him.
Yeah. I kind of agree. I kind of think your assessment there is kind of on point, to tell you the truth.
Man, Steven Crowder talks way too much during his stream, dude.
Oh, yeah, he does. We can't watch that.
He just doesn't shut up.
Newsom is one of the most high-profile surrogates for President Biden, who's running for a second term. The 81-year-old president, saddled for more than 2 years with underwater approval ratings, has increasingly in recent months faced questions about his physical and cognitive ability to serve another 4 years in the White House. And Biden narrowly trails Trump in many and most polls that look ahead to likely 2024 general election matchups. Newsom, exactly. Newsom has repeatedly shot down speculation that he would run for the White House next year should something happen to Biden. A well-publicized trip by a California governor to Israel and China last month sparked further buzz about his possible 2024 ambitions. I mean, President Xi Jinping from China just came to California, and Gavin Newsom literally rolled out the red carpet for him, cleaning up all the shit and the needles on the street, making everything look great for him. So why are you meeting with the president of China if you don't have intentions?
Because he has intentions.
Right. And China runs the elections. So you got to get in good with the people that run the elections. Anyways, yeah, so this article goes pretty deep. How's it looking on the stream? You said
Well, I have the Fox News channel up and it looks like it's not going to play for some reason because I don't have cable. So
you need a provider.
Yeah, which is stupid, but there has to be another way to stream this. Like, you have to be able to use something else at least.
See, it just says I don't have any of these things.
Nathan. Excuse me. Somebody's got to be streaming this. I'm going to go to Reddit.
There's lots of people streaming it. It's just we don't.
No, I'm talking about somebody just streaming the actual debate with no commentary on top of it.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, we started early because we wanted everybody to come in here and not miss it. So that's why we are on here early. Otherwise, you guys are late to the party, and we just want our stream to be warmed up by the time the debate starts.
You don't know.
I'm trying to log in because I don't have cable, but I have my internet through a cable company.
Then maybe you can use that. It's like, I don't know. Not even sometimes. I feel like it's going to be on my TV. Or I'm going to be able to watch it on the TV. Huh.
Hmm.
YouTube has a couple libs that are streaming it live.
Yeah.
Yeah. Football. You watching Canadian League? Canadian football is way different than American football.
Oh, I was like, what are you talking about?
I was reading the comments and
Oh.
find this at the same time. Here, let's put some. We have background music on here. That's completely.
No, I don't want
copyright free.
no background music. We can talk. Otherwise,
wanna
people
talk.
will lose interest. I'll talk. I can talk. Mo could talk all day.
Okay.
All right, let me keep reading this article. All right, so according to DeSantis, he says this guy's running a shadow campaign. He denies it, but even people, shadow campaign meaning he's like running for president, secretly or whatever in the shadows. He denies it, but even people in his own party are saying it. DeSantis said of Newsom. You have Vice President Harris, loser. You have a lot of these people, other people who could end up running in 2024 if Biden's not able to do it. First of all, Kamala bet not even try it. Okay. Her own party doesn't like her. They can't stand her. Okay. So I don't know how that's even going to work out or why they even think that's even a possibility. I think there's a lot of people in the Democratic Party who do not want Biden to run. Ultimately, it's going to be his decision, but I think there's a lot of pressure there for him to take a step back. On the eve of the debate, DeSantis campaign manager James Youthmeyer said that as Democrats ramp up their efforts to replace the historically unpopular and failed Joe Biden as their nominee, Ron DeSantis' showdown with Gavin Newsom is even more unlikely. Where the hell did it go?
I'll be right back.
Okay. Sorry guys, the page refreshed itself. Sorry. The DeSantis campaign highlights that the debate will be the first chance for Republicans to contrast our vision for the future of the country with the failed agenda of someone who very well could become a Democrat nominee. And the DeSantis campaign argues that the showdown is on an opportunity to unite the party amid the GOP presidential primaries. God. That's a whole nother discussion right there. Okay. This showdown is not going to unite the party. If you guys don't follow Carmen on Instagram, she made a post this morning about some of the GOP people in California. And it's so sad and such an embarrassment because these people think that they're going to win campaigns by making cringy memes, about the left. And that's just like, they need to get to work. They need to get to work quickly, like in the streets, footwork, not just online. But half these people want to be lazy and just run their campaign online with childish, cringy posts. Anyways, my God, why does this keep doing that? One of the few chances Republicans have in this primary to unite behind our shared mission to fight back against the left and their efforts to destroy our country. For Newsom, who's not on any ballot in the year ahead, the debate provides the opportunity in front of an expected large national cable audience to promote not only his California agenda and achievements, but also Biden's accomplishments. So I read a poll today that said 40% of people who live in California are considering leaving California, which is that's crazy. Half the people now, I don't know where these people want to go. And if they want to change, the way that they vote for people. I'm not saying that you have to vote Republican or whatever, but you guys don't come here with this bullshit of the type of people you've been choosing to run your state. Okay. And yes, Jerron, is that Jerron? Jerron, that's Jerron. Suni Jerron is the one I did his podcast. I think that's Jerron. I did his podcast. I tried to get him to come on the show tonight, but he's sick. So feel better, Jerron. He's going to Nevada. I used to live in California, so I'm very well aware of how expensive it is. But I left many, 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 many years ago when I saw things starting to get bad. And yeah, it went exactly the way I thought it would. Newsom spokesperson Nathan Click told Fox News to expect the California governor to defend the president and use the opportunity to take on the misinformation machine at its headwaters. Click said Newsom is under no illusion. This is a 2-on-1 match with the refs in the tank for the home team. But Governor Newsom has long believed that Democrats have to go on the offense in enemy territory, and that's exactly what he intends to do. And this is the one thing I do have to say is I will give the Democrats credit, and I'll even give Gavin Newsom credit, because doing this is what I wish more Republicans on our side would do. Okay. But they don't like to do that. They don't like to, roll their sleeves up and get out in the street, so to speak. Right. They don't want to go and do left wing, press tours. They don't want to do that. They don't want to go talk to the Cardi B's and the entertainers and the actors. They want to stay safe in their little cocoon. And like I said, they want to win elections with catchy memes and posts on the internet, and they want to do nothing more. So, I will say that this is very smart of him. And it's also smart of DeSantis to take, whoever invited who first, to take the invite and do this. Okay. My question will be, though, will Hannity ask tough questions? Like, will he ask tough questions? Somebody said, there's lots of things on the, like roads and this, that, and the other. I think that there's bigger issues than the roads in California. I mean, clearly infrastructure is very important. I agree. But, the cost of things in California, the illegal aliens in California, the drug problem in California, the homelessness in California, there's a lot of stuff to talk about. And I hope that Hannity takes this opportunity to show us what he's made of as a moderator. Both governors have ousted national profiles, run the nation first and third most popular states, and overwhelmingly won gubernatorial reelections last year when their rivalry really heated up. In 2022, Newsom went up with an ad on Florida airwaves that targeted DeSantis' culture war approach to politics and policies. He quote, "Freedom, it's under attack in your state. Republican leaders, they're banning books, making it harder to vote, restricting speech in classrooms, even criminalizing women and doctors." Okay. So that's pretty ballsy. Okay. Like, he took out an ad on Florida airwaves to basically attack Florida's government. Okay. So to speak, their leadership. Pretty ballsy. Now, that's not true, right? Like, what he's saying is missing a lot of context. Okay. Freedom is under attack in your state. I don't know so much about that. I mean, granted, DeSantis likes to say that his state was so free during COVID. And then you talk to people who actually lived in Florida, and they dealt with the same stuff that everybody else dealt with during COVID, that the state wasn't as open as free as he would have liked you to believe. Republican leaders are banning books. Okay. So that's a direct attack on the whole, the book banning thing that they were trying to do. They said that they didn't want to teach Black history, which we talked about on this show. And they were sneaking in a lot of LGBTQ rhetoric into that agenda, and it was like a small percentage having to do with actual Black history. Making it harder to vote. They're just trying to put more structure around the voting. Restricting speech in classrooms. Again, that's kind of going back to the curriculum. And even criminalizing women and doctors. That I have no idea what he's talking about. DeSantis, who became a hero to conservatives nationwide for pushing back against coronavirus pandemic restrictions, earlier this year called San Francisco, the city where Newsom once served 2 terms as a mayor, a dumpster fire. And he is correct. The governors, who have long battled on social media over their very different COVID policies this year, have traded fire over the move by DeSantis to fly migrants to California. The Florida governor has made border security a top issue in recent years and has repeatedly highlighted his efforts on the 2024 Republican presidential campaign. Earlier this month, a Newsom-aligned political group started running an ad on Fox News Hannity that slammed DeSantis over the 6-week abortion ban in Florida that he signed into law this year. Longtime Republican strategist and communicator Ryan Williams suggests the debate could be a win for both DeSantis and Newsom. That's interesting. He said they're perfect foils for one another. They both lead some of the biggest states in the country. They both have very prominent roles in their respective parties, and they both love attention. Williams, a veteran of numerous presidential and statewide campaigns, noted that it's in their best interest to attack one another. It gets both of their bases riled up, and it gives them a national platform to fight with each other. So there you go. You guys are all caught up and ready for the debate.
So I purchased Sling because they said you can watch it live there. But I feel like I just bought this for no reason because I don't see the stream. What the heck?
But Sling was one of the options, wasn't it?
Yep, that's why I clicked it.
So on the Fox News thing, it says, okay, hold on. I'm going to send you this link really quick, Suni. Shit, how do I send you? Okay, I'm going to send you this link in, it doesn't matter, in the chat. And through there, you can click, and you'll click on other, and you'll choose Sling TV, and you'll log into Sling TV through there. It should take you straight to it.
Where'd you send it to?
Yeah, it's in the chat. Do you see it in there?
In the private chat?
Oh, no, I put it in the main chat. It's just the link to the video.
Oh, I don't see it. Oh, I can't click it.
Can you click it if I send in the private chat?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. There you go.
There we go. Let's see. Watch.
Anyways, you guys, as Suni is logging into the debate, put your predictions in the comments below. Do you guys think this, like this gentleman said, that this is going to bolster both DeSantis's and Newsom's campaign? Do you think one is going to prevail over the other? Do you think Hannity is even going to ask tough questions? Do you think this is going to be another nothing debate, no action? I actually think this debate might be better than the other debates we've seen, to tell you the truth. And I kind of wonder, like, if it's going to cause all the other people to venture off and start doing these like one-on-one debates. I don't know.
Maybe. We'll see.
Hey, Joe.
Okay.
Hey, Joe. Hey, Alicia. If you're just joining the chat, please make sure to like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel. We are trying to get a few hundred more followers in there so we can get this channel monetized, and we won't just be monetized on the other channel, on my Let's Talk Darling channel. Newsom's slick talking will push him to the win. That's exactly kind of what Suni said, that she thinks that DeSantis is going to take a beating because he is not a debater. And Newsom definitely, I agree. Newsom excels in talking. It's almost to me like the cool guy versus the dorky guy. The cool suave one versus the other one.
Right.
Look at that.
Look at this. Finally got the stream up. This is our stream. Nobody else is going to be on it.
That's amazing. Thank you. I think it will do little to nothing for DeSantis. I think it will help Newsom. I hate to say it, but Newsom does not come across as an idiot in these one-on-ones. Man, so far, Newsom is the one that's looking like He's the fan
Yep.
favorite. I mean, not that you guys are a fan of his, but you know, we got to be real. We got
You
to
gotta
be
be
real.
realistic about your picks.
That's right. And here on Somewhere in the
While
Middle,
we're
we're not
waiting,
gonna.
do you guys do you want to? I want to know what you think about this. Somebody had brought this to my attention. We're about 3 minutes out before they start the debates, but I want to know what you think about this. What do
Okay.
you think about this right here?
Trump, who railed against Black Lives Matter for years, now says he'd be very honored to have its support. So, did you see that one of the Black Lives Matter leaders has put his
They
support
endorsed him.
behind? Yeah, they
Yes.
endorsed him. Go back to the headline. Let me just absorb it. I really don't feel, number one, like he railed against Black Lives Matter.
Oh, you capping now? I'm calling cap on what you just said.
No, we railed.
sorry.
We railed. No. Like the people who supported Trump railed against Black Lives Matter. But I don't know if I would say he railed against them. Okay. Honored to have their support. I think he should have just like not even made that statement. Cause like I don't trust anybody. I'll believe it when I see it. That's what I think. Why are you calling cap on what I say?
Because it's cap. Trump did issue scathing remarks about BLM and all the disgusting things they were doing. And then you say no, he didn't. This is this is an opportunity for you as a Colt 45er to say, actually, yeah, that's wrong. Trump, you're lying.
Well, I would say he did make comments. Railed against them is a little much. It's going a little far. I don't feel like he railed against them.
This is semantics. And you said I feel, which cancels out everything you just said before then.
Oh Lord, here we go. See, we're already fighting. We haven't even started this yet. Okay.
Lord, man.
See,
she earned it. She earned it tonight, y'all.
Michelle speaks for women across California. Newsom is charming and has a look. See, I'm telling you, the ladies love him.
Oh.
Here goes. All right.
California, for what is the first ever red state, blue state debate right here on the Fox News channel. Now, we will do our best to give equal time to each governor. We will limit answers to 60 seconds per question. We'll be a little flexible as needed. Let the debate breathe as needed, along with a 30-second time for rebuttal. Let me start by introducing
Can you send a link to
Governor Ron
just
DeSantis,
Julius?
California Governor Gavin Newsom.
I can't
Governors,
do it.
thank you both for being here. Really appreciate it.
Great to be with you, Sean.
I know both of you personally. I've known you both for a long time. I know you're very busy. I also know this. I know that both of you love your individual states. Yeah. I know you both have a deep and abiding love for our country, as I do. But where we are in the country, we've never kind of been this divided in a long time. There are clear and deep and profound differences in your approach to governance.
And into your inbox,
and
Julius.
Before we begin, one quick note to all of you that are watching at home. Okay, I'm now the longest running primetime cable host in the history of cable news. I'm now, and I feel blessed, in my 28th year at Fox. It's kind of widely known that I am a conservative. However, tonight I will be moderating this debate. I will not be part of the debate. Our questions tonight will be coming from well-sourced, fact-centered perspectives, and you will see and hear most of tonight's questions will deal with the most fundamental issues, the ones that impact the lives of the people that make this country great, the people in Florida, the people in California, and in many ways, every state in the country. We'll discuss taxes, the economy, immigration, crime, guns, homelessness, education, parental rights, abortion, gas prices. In other words, the things that impact you every single day. In the end, you will get to decide which governing philosophy you believe is better. The governors will explain their governing philosophy. And again, fact-based questions. So let's get started. Everybody ready? All right. As we speak, there is a phenomenon. It is playing out across the entire country. Americans, they are leaving blue states in droves in favor of red states. You can see numbers on the screen right now from the years 2021 and 2022. These particular numbers are stark in the state that you lead. In the case of you, Governor Newsom, according to the U.S. Census, this is where the numbers come from. In 2021, 2022, California's lost 750,000 residents to other states. Governor DeSantis, during that same two-year period, you gained 454,000 residents from other states. So Governor DeSantis, we had a coin toss.
Julius,
I
real
was
quick,
not part
can you
of it.
send
I
this
missed
link to
it.
Layla too?
But apparently Governor Newsom, you won the coin toss.
What'd you say?
And
Do
you
what?
chose to
Can
let
you send it
Governor
to Layla?
DeSantis have the first question. You will get the last word tonight.
You can't.
So I begin with you. You know,
Hold
for
up.
Governor Newsom, I will ask, you know, what your response is on this as well. What do you, it's a simple question. How do you explain this phenomenon? Governor, what's going on?
When I was in the Navy, I got orders to go to Naval Amphibious Base Coronado in Southern California. And I was a lifelong Floridian, but I went there and I was like, man, this is one of the most beautiful places on earth. And I think California has more natural advantages than any state in the country. You almost have to try to mess California up. And yeah, that's what Gavin Newsom has done since he's been governor. He's the first governor to ever lose population. They actually at one point ran out of U-Hauls in the state of California because so many people were leaving. Of course, he's imposed restrictions on his own people while exempting himself from those restrictions and going to the French Laundry while his people were suffering. He led the country in school closures, locking kids out of school while he had his own kids in private school in person. Now, he's very good at spinning these tales. He's good at being slick and slippery. He'll tell a blizzard of lies to be able to try to mask the failures. But the reality is they have failed because of his leftist ideology. And the choice for America is this. What Biden and Harris and Newsom want to do is take the California model and do that nationally. In Florida, we showed that conservative principles work. This country must choose freedom over failure.
Governor Newsom, your reaction.
Well, it's good to be with you, Sean. It's nice also to see you in a tie as well tonight. Good to be with you, Ron. And
I dressed up for the occasion, Governor.
No, I'm impressed and I'm grateful. Look, it's an important occasion. This is an important conversation. And I think it's important to the folks watching. They're probably wondering, what are we actually doing here? And I want to answer that very directly. I'll tell you why I'm here. I'm here to tell the truth about the Biden-Harris record and also compare and contrast Ron DeSantis's record and the Republican Party's record as a point of contrast that's as different as daylight and darkness. You want to bring us back to a pre-1960s world, America in reverse. You want to roll back hard-earned national rights on voting rights, on civil rights, on LGBTQ rights, on women's rights, not just access to abortion, but also access to contraception. You want to weaponize grievance. You are focusing on false separateness. You in particular, Ron, are on a banning binge, a cultural purge, intimidating and humiliating people you disagree with. You and President Trump are really trying to light democracy on fire. So, Sean, there are profound differences tonight, and I look forward to engage them. But there's one thing in closing that we have in common is neither of us will be the nominee for our party in 2024.
Governor,
shoot.
great opening statement, but
Didn't
it
answer
did not
the
ad-
question.
It
I mean,
didn't
I think-
address the issue. Can you explain this migration
Uh-oh.
out of California and going to red state,
You mean,
blue state?
well, hold on. You mean the last 2 years, more Floridians going to California than Californians going to
No,
Florida?
I put up on. I put
That's
up on
just,
the
by the
screen.
way, that's going to be fun to fact check. So we'll just start right there. California has no peers.
Shit.
California dominates. Size of 21 state populations combined. It's the fifth largest economy in the world. We dominate. Number one manufacturing state. We dominate in two-way trade and research and development, access to innovation, more scientists, more researchers, more engineers, more Nobel laureates in the state of California than any other state in the nation. The finest system of higher education. It's the birthplace of life science and biotech and nanotechnology. We dominate in green tech. We dominate in high tech. We dominate in artificial intelligence. So with respect, I think it's an interesting campaign strategy for Ron DeSantis to be bashing a state of 40 million Americans when California simply has no peers.
Well, that's a pretty slick way of not answering your question. He went on a binge of putting out a lot of left-wing platitudes. Here's what I would say. I talked to a lot of the people that have moved from California to Florida, and we never used to get people from California to Florida or really anywhere in the East, because why would you leave California? It's got the best weather, great natural forces. Excuse me, sir.
So,
but one of the things that I did, I had, I was talking to a gentleman, a couple.
Guys,
Trying to interrupt.
I was talking to a-
I'm going to let the debate breathe. But it's
Look
his
at
turn.
I love
Let's
Gavin's
take
face.
So I was talking to a fella who had made the move from California to Florida.
He's got
telling me
that
that
cheesy,
Florida's much
janky
better
car salesman
governed,
smile.
Yeah.
Safer,
Thank
better
you, Mad Cow,
budget,
for the $50
lower
super
taxes, all
chat.
this stuff. And he's really happy with the quality of life. And then he paused and he said, by the way, I'm Gavin Newsom's father-in-law. So we do count Gavin's in-laws as some of the people that have fled California and come to the state of Florida. And why are we getting people to come? We have a 50-year low in the crime rate. You don't see in the last 10 years, we've had a 45% decline in homelessness. California has had a 45% increase in homelessness. We back the blue. I was walking the streets of San Francisco a couple months ago, and I had some of the cops in San Francisco do a beeline to come over to me, and I didn't know what they were going to say. And they're like, we want to thank you for standing for law enforcement because we don't get that support in the state of California. So people understand quality of life matters. They understand that Florida's doing it right. And I can tell you the numbers speak for themselves. We have way more people moving to this state than leaving. Gavin can't say the opposite. More people are leaving California than are moving into California.
Let me bring up
coming to California the other way around the last 2 years. But let's talk about crime.
Governor, hold on. Governor, wait a minute.
I think
hold on a second.
You said a lot of things that were factually untrue, including that 50-year crime low, which his own law enforcement team said you should not be using.
You have yet to address the issue, but I asked you twice. You don't want to answer it. But the issue of why the migration out of red states, out of blue states.
We just established more Floridians coming to California in the last 2 years than the
overall. You had a net loss of 7.
It's a fact.
Asserted it.
It's a fact.
No, it's not a fact.
It is a fact.
Moving on. Let's go. Your states have vastly different income tax rates. Okay, it is what it is. These are the facts. California's highest rate for top earners, 13%. Married couple, for example, in California, earning a median income of $84,000, they have a 6% income tax in the state of California. Florida's income tax rate is 0% across all salaries, but it goes beyond income taxes. Property taxes are lower in California, but everything else is higher. Let's take a look at the numbers. These are the facts. The average property tax in California, 0.75%, Florida, 0.91%. Sales tax, California, 7.25%, Florida, 6%. Gas tax rate, California, 77 cents a gallon. That is a low estimate. It's up to $1 when you include mandatory fees. And in Florida, it's 35 cents. Corporate income tax, California, 8.84%, Florida, 5.5%. Governor Newsom, this is your question. Let me ask you. Obviously, you support a different philosophy, which is higher taxes.
Yes. No, hold on. We have
tax
this is a different approach, and I agree with you completely. He has one of the most regressive tax rates in the United States of America. It's the #3 most regressive state in America. And what that means is simply this. Who does he tax? He taxes low-income workers more than we tax millionaires and billionaires in the state of California. The question is a simple one. Who, Ron, are you for? It's a factual lie that the state of California is high tax, has the highest tax rate, but for whom? And it's a foundational and fundamental difference. You look at states like Texas, overwhelming majority of Texans pay more taxes than the state of California. So again, it's who you're for. And I think those
why are they all
matter,
coming
and I
here?
appreciate you bringing up the issue of taxes.
How many people leave Florida to go to California because they pay less taxes?
Exactly.
I've not seen that. Are people going from Florida to New York because they pay less taxes? Of course not. They come to Florida because they pay lower taxes. We don't even have an income tax, and yet California has a higher sales tax than we do, and that's one of the things that we do. But here's the thing, and I'll give Gavin credit. He did at least admit in his first answer, he's joined at the hip with Biden and Harris. He thinks Biden and Harris have done a great job. He thinks the economy is working because of their policies for Americans, and they are not. And so what California represents is the Biden-Harris agenda on steroids. They would love nothing more than to get 4 more years to be able to take the California model nationally. That would be disastrous for working people.
Let's talk about working people. They pay more in your state than the state of California charges for billionaires and millionaires. And it's just a value proposition.
True.
It's a fact. Again, you can't make
you have $6 or $7 a gallon gas. How do they afford that? These are folks that are blue collar people.
We're talking
You're
about
going to force everybody to buy an electric vehicle. How are they going to be able to afford electric vehicles if you're working class people? And I think the thing about California, they have one of the highest inequality rates because, they've got Silicon Valley billionaires. They've got a lot of very wealthy people. They've got a lot of people that are on government assistance, but they've hollowed out their middle class. That's who's been leaving California. They've been leaving in other places. They go to Arizona. They go to Nevada. They go to all these places.
Let me
just like Biden is hollowing out this.
I do have a follow-up
question. In California.
Ron, I'm happy that you continue to talk. Let's talk a little bit about Bidenomics, because I'm happy to take that on right now as well. And I think it's
You're
a fair
big
point.
supporter of it. That's I appreciate you acknowledging
14 million jobs, 10 times more than the last 3 Republican presidents
that.
combined.
Because he has
Dude,
Stop the
15
lies,
This
bro.
is
because
such
the
crap.
jobs were because of the COVID lockdowns. Are you kidding me?
3.9% unemployment. As he continues to talk over me, I'll talk to the American people. 3.9% unemployment, the lowest black unemployment in American history, the lowest unemployment for Hispanics in American history, the lowest unemployment for women in 70 years, the lowest black poverty rates in history. That's
What?
this administration's agenda. And by the way, as
What?
you smile and smirk over there, you should know this, the American people. Here's a guy who celebrated Bidenomics just this week, celebrating $28 million that came into your state because of the CHIPS and Science Act, one of the most significant economic plans since FDR. I'm proud of the work Biden and Harris have done.
Would you like to respond? And I do have a follow-up. The 6% rate on people, families, couple in California, they pay 6% income tax on $84,000 a year.
Low-wage workers
That's why
in the
he's-
state of Florida
that's what he
pay more
does.
than
I mean,
billionaire
I
state of
didn't ask
California.
about
We're-
Florida.
we're-
He's spinning,
we-
Governor,
he is
30
spinning,
I'm
he's
asking
But here's,
obfuscating
let me ask, Nancy, let me ask you the question.
spinning lies.
Let me ask
to
the
be
question.
able to
Let me
try
a-
to cover for his
Ron, if I
Let
may
him
ask,
answer, and then
may
I'll
I
let
answer
you
the
respond.
question.
Okay.
California has lower taxes, lower than 32 states for working families in the middle class, significantly lower
So
taxes
you
than
support
places
that? That's what you
like
said.
Texas.
You support a 6% income tax for
I'm
people, a couple
I'm
making
against
84,000.
regressive taxes that advantage billionaires and millionaires over working families and the working poor. People in his state pay more taxes on the low end than we tax people on the high
How
end.
does
That's
paying
a fact. and it's a
$7 a
value
gallon
proposition.
gas help
Yeah.
working people? That doesn't help working
gas
people at
is so
all.
expensive
How
in
does paying an
California.
8%
Mhm.
sales tax help working people? That doesn't help working people at all. They have the highest taxes in the nation. People flee to be able to save money to get out of California. And you have working class people that move to these other states. Their dollars go much further. But here's the thing. They want to take this Bidenomics and they want to double down on this for the next 4 years. How many people are able to afford groceries now compared to what you were doing 3 or 4 years ago? I talked to people, I talked to a woman who had a cart full of groceries going in, and they're ringing it up. And it got to be so expensive, she has to take a lot of the stuff out. That didn't used to be the case. People used to be able to work hard and get ahead. That is not true under Joe Biden. And you know what, Sean, one more final thing. California's unemployment rate is 60% higher than Florida's unemployment rate. Our unemployment rate is 2.8%.
That
Theirs is
dovetails into my next
4.8%.
question,
Why?
Governor.
Because it's a command and control economy. They have a political agenda that they're pursuing.
Let me
at the
ask that
expense of
question.
People.
On with the question of jobs. I think it's important. You know what? That
By
affects
the way,
that affects
the
everybody.
Biden administration, the last 3 years, it's
Is
been a
Joe
master
Biden paying you tonight?
3.9%.
I thought this was state
unemployment.
versus state.
No, but it's about the United States of America. I thought this guy was running for president of the United States. If
You
you're
are
running
too.
for a
You just won't
are you
admit it.
running for a
You
third?
just
sounds like
won't
you're
admit
running
it.
for a
You will not
third
admit it.
term.
Why don't
All
you
right,
just
gentlemen.
admit that you're
Hold
running?
on.
All right, we can't talk.
on
We
here.
can't talk. I'm going to move on to the next
hovering.
question.
He's running.
The unemployment rate in Florida right now
Yes.
is just 2.8%. As you stated, and California ranks second worst in the country at 4.8%.
Thank you.
Hold
Our
on. This
lowest
question goes to
unemployment on
Governor
record.
DeSantis, and then you'll have a chance to respond. Governor DeSantis.
Well, right. I mean, they tax too much. They regulate too much. They have a political agenda. It's not a good climate for business. They've lost a lot of companies. A lot of companies have moved to Texas. We have had some to Florida, but they've lost a lot of companies to Texas because they're not doing a good job looking out for folks and not creating a good business environment. And, when I have people that come to Florida, they tell me, you guys actually want us to succeed in Florida. And they feel like when they're in California, they don't want business to succeed.
Is that what
and all
Disney's
that
saying?
stuff.
The Tampa Bay Rays?
Well, actually,
Is that what
yeah,
all these
I
other
think that's an
private sector
interesting point with
corporations say?
Disney because
Please.
I had Disney open during COVID and we made them a fortune and we saved a lot of jobs. You had Disney closed inexplicably for over a year.
Well, let me
You
talk
were not
about
following
Let's
science.
not bring
You were a
Disney into this.
lockdown governor.
Not a good
You
move.
did a lot of damage to your
I mean,
people.
it's
You
an
had
interesting
more
point,
people
though.
left out of school for a longer period of time in California than anywhere else in the country.
Because we
It was
were
the
locked
working
down for a long
kids. It was
time in
the middle
California.
income
Like,
kids.
we were the
His
longest
kids
locked
were in
down
private school.
than any
They
other
were in
state.
class
We'll
in
get
person.
to COVID.
He locked people out because of the
wait, no,
teachers
if
union.
you're gonna-
He is owned by the teachers union.
Yeah,
You will never cross the teachers
This is
union.
just a lot of hot air.
Lock,
You wanna-
stock, and
Let's
barrel.
talk about COVID. Let's talk about your record on COVID. You passed an emergency declaration before the state of California did. You closed down your beaches, your bars, your restaurants.
False.
It's a fact.
The beaches
You had
were not closed.
quarantines.
Newsom did the same
You had
thing.
quarantines. You had checkpoints all over the state of Florida.
Yes, you
By the
did.
way,
That's-
I didn't say that. Donald Trump laid you out on this. Dead to right. You
That's
did
not
that.
true.
You followed science. You followed Fauci.
That actually
Right?
is true.
He
That
followed
That is
science.
true.
He
That's not
followed
true.
That's a fact. That's a fact, by the
Fauci.
way.
You
Why
were
did
promoting-
everyone leave
Hold on. You
California
were
to come to
promoting
Florida because
vaccines.
we were
Newsom
open?
did the same thing,
promoting
though, too, though.
vaccines. You didn't even
So-
wore a
Closed.
mask in
We
September,
were open.
son.
You were closed.
If it's okay with
See
you,
how he's not addressing
we'll do
that.
this.
Why were you
Why don't we
closed
do
for
this
so
in a way
long?
where we both can have
Why were you closed for
opportunity?
so long?
You wore
You
a
were
mask
closed.
with
Guys,
Donald
guys,
Trump
closed.
I'm trying
outside
to let it breathe.
in September
Gavin,
2020. He did all of
Governor
that
Newsom.
until he decided to fall prey to the fringe.
Yeah, I don't know
of
why
his
DeSantis won't
party.
admit that. 'Cause
And as
he
a consequence
fell
of that,
for it, but
Ron,
he
tens of thousands of people
understood.
lost their
just
lives.
admit that.
That's not true.
The equivalent, if I had your policies, the equivalent of 10 9/11s, tens of thousands of people lost their lives. And for what, Ron?
Those
What?
are more lies. In fact, the Lancet
What?
just did a study.
Yeah, I don't know what
Florida
this
had a lower standardized COVID death rate than California did. That's a Lancet study.
let me-
One more thing. One more thing. The other thing we had, the other thing California had, California had higher excess mortality than.
All right,
than
gentlemen,
Florida.
gentlemen.
Let me talk about the excess mortality real quick.
Honestly,
Because the
hold on a
excess
second.
mortality
because
is other
I
things.
want to ask you both. If slow down,
Oh.
I want everyone to be heard. If I can ask you, I really do want this to breathe.
I know,
want
10
this
on-
debate
10
to
on
breathe.
11.
I want it to organically develop. To do that, I need both your cooperation. I
exactly.
don't want to be a hall monitor. That's
Exactly,
not my
Michael.
style, all right. You mentioned COVID. Let me go to COVID. And I plan to bring this up later, but you both took very different approaches as it comes to COVID. Governor Newsom, you issued the nation's first stay-at-home order on March 19th of 2020. Governor DeSantis, you took a lot of heat for reopening schools. You opened schools in Florida in August of 2020. All right, so here's the data, which I think is important. This is where the facts come in. Your state's death rates were almost identical.
This is factually untrue.
Hold on.
Factually untrue.
Okay.
These
and by
numbers
the
are
way,
so
both
skewed,
your
though,
states
'cause how
took
do you
such
know they
different
died of
approaches, which is
COVID?
pretty fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were both lower, significantly lower
What's that
than the
pre-existing
national
conditions?
average. These
Right.
numbers come straight from the CDC. So, Governor Newsom, how do you explain that?
The facts. Per capita death rates
That's what that is.
in the state of Florida were 29%. 29%.
I will tell you,
per
California
capita
was not suffering with
higher.
COVID. I'll tell you that.
29%.
That's not what the stats say right there.
People, tens of thousands of people
Don't lie
unnecessarily
about
died.
it. He put the graphic
Tens
up
of
there.
thousands
Don't
of
lie
people
about it.
unnecessarily
You don't need to lie
died
about it.
because your policies.
Just understand.
You're lying
You don't
about
need to
your
lie
record.
about
Yeah,
it. No,
CDC
it's not.
You're
lies
a
too, though.
lockdown governor.
No, it's
You
not.
locked down.
All right, one at a
schools,
time. Gavin
you
Newsom,
locked down
finish
your
your thought.
beaches, bars, and restaurants. That's just a fact. He's running away from his record. He's running away from the fact. Tens of thousands of people died
You saw
unnecessarily
the CDC
because he
numbers.
caved to it's 29% higher death rate in the state
Not
of
according to the
Florida
CDC.
versus the state of California.
quick
Tens of
response,
thousands
Governor.
of
You
people died.
showed the stats.
Fact.
The stats are very clear.
One at a time.
On a per capita age-adjusted basis, California and Florida basically the same. Now, why is that important? Because Gavin Newsom did huge damage to people in California. He ruined livelihoods. We reopened the
People
state
died
very
under your
quickly.
watch.
We saved thousands of jobs. We saved hundreds of thousands of jobs, thousands of businesses. We had our kids in school. He had the kids locked out of school because of the teachers union. That is having a generational impact. California has one of the lowest literacy rates in the country. In the most recent NAEP exam, Florida came in number 3 for 4th grade reading. California was far, far behind. So you should apologize for not getting your kids in school. Why didn't you get the kids in school in the summer of 2020 like we did?
Ask him why he was at French Laundry.
The only person
didn't do the job you should have
Sean,
done.
All right,
the only person,
the
only person
All right,
needs
one
to
at a time.
Can we not
apologize
talk about
is
COVID,
Ron
though?
DeSantis
Right.
for the
COVID's
tens
done.
of thousands
Yeah.
of lives that died unnecessarily.
Let's talk about
because
illegals.
you played to the French of
border.
his party.
We got to take a break.
And
Finish your
Okay,
thought.
so let's
no,
jump
and
in
when
here
it
real
comes to the
quick.
issue of
Sudie.
schools, you better be careful. You had more learning loss.
Okay,
What's
so
up?
what do we think? What do we think so far? I mean,
So,
Ron, stop smiling, Ron.
so DeSantis is doing fairly well. I thought,
Mhm. Debate
he would-
wise,
hey, I was wrong. Now, but this is just the beginning. We're only about, I think, like 20 minutes into it. 15, 20 minutes into it. So far, Newsom hasn't answered one question. He
Mhm.
just deflects. DeSantis has told a bunch of lies so far. From what I can see, they're just rehashing old issues that our country is facing, which is COVID, racism, Trump. I'm waiting for them to get to the border, and I'm waiting for them to get to the conflict in America first. That's the only thing I'm looking forward to tonight.
Yeah.
I want to see where DeSantis stands on all of this. And I think we already know what to expect from Newsom.
Yeah.
Did anybody expect anything different?
I mean, I think debating COVID is a waste of time. Everybody already knows that it's a
Yeah.
bunch of BS. Like, why we're even talking about it when the numbers are skewed and this per capita BS? It's like,
Yeah.
we don't even
Well,
know what the actual
as
numbers are.
as a Californian, there are people who still believe that what Newsom did was right. They still believe that till this day. I remember talking to people earlier this year about that, not like on the street interview, but just having a conversation, and they really believe that Newsom did things right. I mean, people in California are still wearing masks. Like they're still wearing masks, and like the employees are still wearing masks. I mean, it looks optional, but it looks like
Yeah.
more are wearing them than they're not, which is really strange. So it's pretty bizarre. But I was gonna just say that I think both of them kind of seem like they're not being totally honest. Yes, DeSantis looks like he's doing better, but it's like they're not being honest. I don't know why DeSantis couldn't admit that he did fall for the COVID stuff in the beginning, but then
Exactly.
learn and say, you know what, I did fall for it. I made a mistake, because I would argue he admitted the fact that he did fall for it, and then he learned and then understood the numbers. So why couldn't he just say that same thing he said before in this debate? I don't know why he's trying to like be this whole different guy. It's like, dude, you already admitted the fact that you fell for it, and you admitted the fact that you changed your perspective on it because you looked into the actual numbers. So just be honest about it.
I mean, I would say I kind of agree with this comment down here, because I would say that, yeah, like from a debate standpoint, DeSantis is doing good, but well, I don't know, because I feel like Newsom is doing a good job of deflecting and interrupting, and it's hard, if you're not following along carefully and, can't follow along quickly, his tactics could work in his favor. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what Newsom always does. See, this is what I hope Californians
This is what he
understand, is that's what
does.
Newsom always does. Any interview
Yeah.
you watch him in, he deflects all the time. It's just what he does. He won't answer the question. I mean, even
Yeah.
that time when he went to the the football stadium, and they asked him why he was wearing a mask, and he's like,
Yeah.
I was judicious of wearing a mask. Like he just tried to play it off so bad. So yeah, but Californians like him. I mean, real quick to that comment that Michelle said earlier, that's what kind of bothers me. Is like he looks good, so it's like I don't know why, but I can't stand that. It's like if you think the guy is handsome and that's why you don't want to judge him, we got bigger problems than just this whole entire debate. Because like, how are you going off of your feelings?
Well, it is a problem. It is a problem. But as we established quite often on the show, women are a problem. And those are going to be the voters that vote for Newsom. And they're going to vote based on his looks. I'm telling you. And based on his suave words.
It's funny
telling
because,
you.
well, so the fact that majority of women in America tend to vote Democrat, if you notice, women tend to vote for less freedoms. And that's why we lose in California, because women are voting for less freedoms. They're not voting for more freedoms.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's very true.
Repeal the 19th, guys.
Absolutely.
Repeal it all the way. Take away licenses from driving. No, I'm just kidding.
Jerron's wife said, "That's Zaddy Newsom to you, Mo." Well, I'll raise your Zaddy Newsom with a puppy Trump, okay?
Yeah.
Oh, man. That's so funny. Nancy's puppet. Yep, that's right. Man, this is a long commercial break. They must have a lot of advertisers they got to pay. Anyways, I don't know. We'll see. I hope Hannity gains control of this. I mean, I like that he's letting them talk, but at the same time, like, don't stay too long on this COVID. All right, we're back.
Red state debate with Governor Gavin Newsom and Governor Ron DeSantis. Gentlemen, let's move on to the issue of borders. Joe Biden's message to illegal immigrants
get into
during
it.
his campaign was, let them come. I'd have the tape, but I said I wouldn't play the tape. And since taking office, Biden said he's gotten control of the border. Vice President Kamala Harris, Homeland Security Secretary Mayorkas, Biden's press secretary Karine Jean-Pierre have all said the border is either secure or the border is closed. Yet the Border Patrol says Well, guess what? They have been a record 6.5 million encounters with illegal immigrants and so-called asylum seekers at the border since President Biden took office. The administration says, well, they don't know how many people actually are in the country illegally. Gentlemen, the American people, I ask you, I believe it's your turn, Governor Newsom, have the American people on the issue of borders, you're defending the Biden administration. They're saying the border's secure. They're saying the border's closed. Those are the numbers from our own Border Patrol. Are the American people being lied to?
I don't think they're being lied to. The Biden administration put out a comprehensive plan day one when he got sworn into office 3 years ago, and the Republican Party didn't touch it. They haven't moved on it. They play politics with us. And I'll be honest with you, I think there's probably one person I wouldn't listen to on this topic more than the guy that I'm standing next to, Ron DeSantis. He he lacks any credibility on the issue of immigration. When he was in Congress, he supported amnesty. When he's in Congress, you supported John Boehner's bill. It's a fact. When you were in Congress, you supported Obama's. You supported Obama's efforts to advance comprehensive reform. The last guy you want to talk to on the issue of immigration. Your immigration policy can best be described as a governor from the state of Florida going into another state, the state of Texas, lying to migrants, promising them jobs and housing, sending them to an island, Martha's Vineyard, and then sending them to a parking lot in Sacramento, California. I met with those migrants.
Are you
that
kidding
lied
me?
to under false pretense. That kind of gamesmanship, using human beings as
this is
pawns, I think
feelings, guys.
disqualified.
Yeah, I know.
He's turning it on
was put
thick.
out on the Republican debate stage saying, well, he's going to be tough. He's going to shoot people with backpacks. And
That's
then
what
he has a
Democrats do.
strategy to potentially even invade
Democrats
our
do.
second largest
Because on that
trading partner,
heartstring.
Mexico, that has a
What?
record
Who has ever
of
talked about invading
supporting
Mexico?
amnesty and supporting reforms under the Obama administration.
Oh,
is the last guy we spent standing
her
on
name?
stage talking about the issue of immigration reform.
Marjorie
tonight.
Taylor Greene.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's deja
but that's
vu all
her.
over again with that flurry of lies.
he's gonna
This
take
is a
that to
guy
all
that the
Republicans.
Biden administration is not lying to the public about the border. They go to the White House briefing room every day. They say the border's secure. They are lying to you. We know that that's not true. Gavin Newsom is lying to you when he says somehow I supported these things, which I didn't do. He's also lying to you about what it's going to take to solve this problem. California is a sanctuary state. They thumb their nose at federal immigration law, and this has real consequences. There was an illegal alien, Herbert Nixon Flores, who was in LA, in custody. He was a repeat criminal. ICE wanted to take him into custody because then they would be able to deport him. LA refuses to work with ICE, and so they wouldn't turn him over. They end up releasing him on the street. He ends up murdering the mother of a 3-year-old little girl. Those policies are deadly. They do not work. And I would tell you this, the Martha's Vineyard transport, Martha's Vineyard said it was a sanctuary jurisdiction. Kind of reminds me about Gavin Newsom when he restricted Californians, then he went to the French Laundry. These liberal elites, they like to impose burdens on you. They don't want to have to face the consequences of their actions. So we've got a lot of elites who want open borders, who lecture everybody else about it. Then the minute they have to deal with any of the consequences, oh man, all hell breaks loose.
How
and they
about the
get upset.
consequences
Hold on.
of
How about we
We're
have
moving
one
on.
set of
We're
rules
moving
for
to the
every
next
American?
question.
We'd be much better
On
off
the
as a
same
country if
topic,
that were the case.
on the same topic, this is important. This is a very important question. While some migrants I know want to come to America for a better life for themselves and their family, find the American dream, I totally sympathize with them. Many good people fleeing very bad situations abroad. But others are abusing the asylum process, and in the process, in search of where they're coming from, we're now learning that many are coming from some of our top geopolitical foes, countries with little to no vetting, or people that are coming in. They're not being vetted. Look at these numbers. Between October 2021, October 2023, border agents encountered 6,386 nationals from Afghanistan, 3,153 from Egypt, 659 from Iran, the #1 state sponsor of terror, 538 from Syria, 12,605 from Russia, and a whopping 26,113 from China. Now, my question, the next question goes to you, Governor Newsom. What are the odds that Biden's open borders have allowed terrorists and terror cells unvetted into this country? Is that a clear and present danger to every American?
The odds are 100%. Of course, our enemies are going to take advantage of this. He opened the border. He's not. He's violating his oath of office to take care that the laws are faithfully executed. He's knowingly having 8 million come in. And yes, there's criminal aliens. There are terrorists. There's a lot of fentanyl. That we've had tens of thousands of fentanyl deaths. I've met a lot of angel parents who have lost.
Why is he laughing at that?
Fentanyl overdose, and the problem is, you'll have a college kid that may take some pill, not knowing that there's fentanyl in it, and then right there, that can be fatal. They're poisoning our people. And Joe Biden is sitting on his hands. He refuses to take care of the border. He refuses to hold the drug cartels accountable. This is the vision of Biden, Harris, Newsom. Open borders. Americans suffer, and Americans continue to die because of fentanyl overdose. There will be, unfortunately, a terrorist attack at some point that we'll be able to trace back to our southern border.
God forbid. By the way, do you see that risk, Governor Newsom?
Hold on.
Governor,
I mean,
do you see the risk?
Joe Biden put out not only a comprehensive plan, he consistently puts up plans. Hold on, no, but Sean,
is there a risk?
I'm going to answer your question. I support border security. I think the asylum system is broken. I believe that we need.
I understand that.
I'm the only guy here that's a border state governor. You're trolling folks and trying to find migrants to play political games to try to get some news and attention so you can out-Trump Trump. And by the way, how's that going for you, Ron? You're down 41 points in your own home state.
Dang.
On the issue of immigration, Joe Biden
because
put
it's
a $14 billion immigration package up in front of Congress. 2,300
has nothing to do with what he's talking about here.
as well as 1,000 new law enforcement officers to deal with the fentanyl issue. And by the way, that's a major issue in your state, 41% higher overdose rates than the state of California. And here's what I haven't heard, not a peep from Ron DeSantis. They want to demagogue this issue, want to play politics with issues. You don't want to solve this issue. Why don't you lead your party and support that $14 billion?
Hold on, I have a follow-up. Governor Newsom, I appreciate your answer. You have mentioned comprehensive immigration reform many times. It's not happened under Joe Biden. I don't think it's going to happen.
Put a detailed plan, and Republicans in Congress refuse to act on it.
Let me finish my
Congress to work with this administration.
With all of these millions and millions of people coming into this country unvetted, the question was and remains, is this a clear and present danger from the countries I put up on the screen? Is that a clear and present danger to America? And what do you do in the interim?
That's why the president of the United States put a $14 billion package in front of Congress they can act on today.
And what would that?
They haven't done anything
what would that
in 2
package
years.
Today, not the past couple of years.
Today. I support the $14 billion package president's put forward that includes 2,300 border agents and customs officials. By the way, also includes $850 million in new technology for border security. You hear nothing.
What is
from Ron
technology
DeSantis.
going to
You hear
do for the
nothing, Sean,
border,
respectfully.
bro?
You hear nothing.
More
from
drones, you know, they look cool.
They play
That's
politics.
probably what
Almost
he's talking about.
Put
Before the break.
plan up to address
Does it
the
worry?
anxiety
Let me
around
ask the
security.
question another way. Does it worry you that our top geopolitical foes, the number one state sponsor of terror, Iran, China, Russia, Afghanistan, Syria, that they're at our southern border? You're a border state governor. Does that concern you at all?
Why else would I have put the answer is yes. Why else would I put the National Guard? Why would I have just increased it by 50% on the largest port in the Western Hemisphere in my state? I mean, this guy has no record. The fact that you supported amnesty, the fact you supported Obama's reforms, those are facts. They're just simple facts. The fact that your greatest contribution, Ron, to this debate is shooting people with backpacks.
I don't mind.
That's so inhumane.
I don't mind him lying to me.
Right?
I don't mind Gavin lying to me, but I do mind him lying to you. He is sitting there saying that Joe Biden is willing to solve this problem. Is there anybody out there that actually believes this? Joe Biden created this problem. So if he's willing to lie to you about that, you know he's lying to you about all these other facts and figures, about all this other stuff. He's just throwing stuff out to see what sticks against the wall. This is a slick, slippery politician whose state is failing. People are leaving his state, and he's trying to run interference for his failure.
We've got to take our second break. We're going to.
He won't answer.
We have a lot more ground to cover. Quick break.
If dodging questions was a person, Gavin Newsom would be the first face that you would see.
If that was the objective, for sure.
I wrote down a few notes. The comments that people were saying DeSantis made about Mexico, he did in fact make them, but it was lacking a lot of context as to why he said it. He wasn't just talking about invading Mexico just to invade Mexico or because he wants to go conquer Mexico. He's talking about curbing what's going on there as far as the cartel, drugs, and smugglers. And he does want to end birthright citizenship. And I'm sorry, but a candidate that is running for president should indeed speak on border control and securing the country. And if that means that the National Guard goes in to defend America against drug dealers, smugglers, and human traffickers, then what's the problem? What's the problem?
Right.
You see the National Guard there. Gavin Newsom places National Guard troops at the border to combat the tide of smuggled drugs, mainly fentanyl from Mexico. So is he not participating in the same thing that he's up there complaining about DeSantis doing? I don't quite understand what what's going on.
In an article, Gavin Newsom places for California. Yeah, it's
you both did the same thing. You just took it a step further and actually put the National Guard there.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that like people who again like without seeing this article, people would just believe Newsom. They really believe this dude so much. So it's pretty insane that he and Ron's right. He would just lie to you. I'm not saying Ron's all the way honest, but Newsom would just literally lie straight to your face with no type of like he does not care.
No,
it's bizarre to watch him. Like even though I know he's a liar, it's bizarre to watch him even still do it.
Yeah,
it's like scary.
Well,
almost.
it's because he does it so well. That's what it is. Is because you and I, we all know he's lying or what he's lying about, right? But you're looking at him and he does it so well. Even like when they were talking about the fentanyl deaths and they said, you know, thousands of children, blah, blah, blah. If you looked over at Gavin, he was laughing.
Yes.
Like, what the hell? Who laughs at that?
Because he knows he's
in
killing.
His head, he's probably like, this is ridiculous that he's bringing this up. Let me just, that's probably a nervous tick, honestly.
Like Ron smiling.
Like his awkward smile. Like that smile is cringe, bro.
It was so bad.
Stop smiling.
Ron's like this. He's like,
he looks like what's that movie with Will Smith? Hancock, when he smiles for the first time for the
this is like a Cheshire cat. Like
good
Cheshire
job.
cat.
Good job.
Guys, thank you so much for joining our stream. I'm overwhelmed by how many people we have here. Please make sure that you're liking, subscribing, sharing. If you guys want to donate, if you're watching from Let's Talk Darling YouTube, which is my YouTube, you can donate a super chat from there. Suni, if you want to put up our Venmo QRC, you can also do that as well if people want to scan that.
Can I say one thing real quick?
Sure, go ahead.
Just real quick to my audience who are watching, those on my YouTube who are watching, I just want to say, I know. I said I was going to take a break, but my great friends here reached out to me and said, "Hey, black man." No, just kidding. No, they reached out to me and they asked me to be on this podcast, this feature. I said, "Sure, I'll do it." So, appreciate you all for watching, and make sure you guys do subscribe to Somewhere in the Middle USA. Make sure you guys subscribe to Suni on Hot Mic and Mo on Let's Talk Darling. So like, share, subscribe, and do all that good stuff. Appreciate you guys.
And I think Julius is monetized also. So if you're watching from Julius's channel,
I'm not.
Oh, you're not? What happened?
Yeah,
Weren't you monetized? You got demonetized?
No, so they demonetized me several months ago. But after today, I can apply for remonetization. So
do that. Yep. Get your money.
Before we get back into the debate, because it's about to come on, I see them running George Santos. By the way, they're trying to get his ass out of Congress.
I'm gonna go potty break.
I
really
mean,
quick.
he just got caught with like a lot of stuff.
Okay. He did. I'm not going to deny it. He did.
That man was on OnlyFans.
Fact check: opioid deaths have definitely increased in 3 years in California. They have a major opioid issue, and they have a major fentanyl issue.
Yeah.
So but the debate is back. So go ahead. Real quick.
Okay. I'll talk about the opioid about 2020. More deaths than that than COVID.
Insane.
Yeah.
The statistic shows what is the combined rate of homicide, rape, robbery, aggravated assault the year 2022. On the national level, the rate was 380.7 offenses per 100,000 people. In California, meanwhile, the rate was much higher, 499.5 offenses per 100,000. In Florida, lower, 258.9 offenses per 100,000. Governor Newsom, let me start with you. Your numbers are way higher than the national average. How do you explain that when safety and security, I would argue, is a prerequisite for the pursuit of happiness?
Well, I couldn't agree with you more. We're near 50-year lows, down 55% violent crimes in the state of California from the 1990s. And I want to compare and contrast that with the issue in Florida that you mentioned, and that's the murder rate. And let's broaden it more broadly. The issue is 7 of the top
Those numbers
10,
were part of the murder rate.
7 of the top 10 murder rates in the United States of America are red states.
Yep.
He has a 66% higher gun death rate.
I got something to say
California has
about
a higher
that.
murder rate. Go to places
Write it
like
down.
Jacksonville. Go to places
We
like
can go back to
Orlando. Go to places like Tampa. The murder rates
He's not
off
lying,
the
though.
charts compared to cities like San Francisco. And you know what? Even more egregiously, Sean, and I think this is important, the American people deserve an answer from you, Ron. You had one of the worst mass shootings in American history, Parkland. 17 kids were gunned down, lives
Here we
lost,
go.
17
Feelings
others,
again.
lives torn asunder. You had a young girl by the name of Jamie Gutenberg, whose father pleaded with you to do something about it. And you know what you did? They did the exact opposite. You made it easier for felons to get guns without background checks, without any training. These people pleaded with the parents and the families to get tough on gun safety. And again, you made it easier for felons. He said of you, Ron, and I agree with him, after you signed that concealed carry bill, which increases the likelihood, Fred Gutenberg said, of more Jamies losing their lives and more Parklands, he called you weak, pathetic, and small. So with respect, I appreciate you're talking to police officers in the state of California. You may want to spend a little bit more time, not on the Ohio Trail and other places across this country. You may spend a little more time back in your home state and address the murder and gun violence in your own backyard.
So this is the slick politician. You put up the rates. He has 500 per 100,000. Florida is 250. So that's almost twice as much. And he's trying to spin that to say California's doing good. People are leaving California in droves, largely because public safety has collapsed. They have, I mean, you go, when Californians come to Florida, one of the things they'll say, it's almost like an out-of-body experience. They can go to the store, get toothpaste off the shelf, pay for it, and leave, because in a lot of these places in California, everything's under lock and key because they basically legalized retail theft. They have chosen in California to put the interests of the criminals over public safety. They treat they're easier on sex offenders. They're easier on all these crimes that are leading to a collapse in the quality of life. And if you just walk around San Francisco, you will see, and I think it's interesting, Gavin Newsom was mayor of San Francisco. So he took the San Francisco model, turned that into a template for California's collapse. Now the left wants to take the California model and use that as a template for America's collapse. We cannot let that happen.
Wait, I got to, Governor, no, I got a follow-up question. You brought up
Jacksonville, Florida, compared to San Francisco is 126% higher.
Governor, let me bring up your,
it's 84%
the next question
higher.
dovetails
In
into
Tampa,
this.
it's 75% higher. What
Let me also say,
what are you talking about
you're
when
just
it comes to
jabbering.
this?
I know you like to jabber.
By the way, those
I
are
know you
all
like
easily
I know you like to lie.
Anytime you're uncomfortable,
He put the statistics up there.
Those are all
your
facts.
crime is
What
higher.
Are you doing
We
about
know
the
your
gun
crime's
murder rate
higher.
in your
Gentlemen,
state?
We know
gentlemen,
What are you
I'm
doing
going to move
about
on.
the gun murder rate in your state?
We'll let the audience,
Murders in the state of
let the audience look at the
And I think
numbers,
it's
the
shameful
FBI
what you
numbers, and
did
decide.
to those
According
Parkland
to the
families.
gun control advocacy group, every town for gun safety.
Yep.
Okay. California has the most, as you support, I know, Governor, restrictive gun laws in the United States.
Yes.
Florida has the 19th most restrictive. Yet, if you
Ranked
look at the
number
year
one.
2019, when each
What are
of
you
you
going to
took
say about
office,
that?
California has had 21 mass shootings. Florida has had 9.
Yeah.
Now, that is according to a USA Today, AP, Northeastern University database
We've had mass shootings, for
data.
sure.
Keep in mind, a mass killing is defined as the intentional killing of 4 or more victims, excluding the deaths of unborn children and
it was
the
3 or
offenders
more.
by any means within a 24 period of time. I believe, Governor DeSantis, you get this first.
What California
Hold on,
wants to
guys. I'll
do
be
is
right
they
back. I got a
want
phone
to
call.
make it harder for law-abiding citizens to defend themselves. Then they go easy on the criminals who are perpetrating the crime. They don't stand up for the men and women of law enforcement. That's why a lot of people have left the state, because they don't get the support from the communities that they need. And, Gavin told another lie. He said we made it easier for felons to do. Felons are not allowed to possess firearms. That's federal law. That's been long
No
standing.
background checks.
That is an
No background
absolute
checks for
lie
concealed
that
carry.
he's saying
No
like
That
that.
doesn't
background
That has
work.
nothing to do
You'll
with
get your
buying
time.
or
Go ahead.
purchasing a weapon. So that's just a lie, another lie that's coming up. But here's the thing. People are leaving California in droves because he has failed to stand up for public safety. They are on an ideological joyride to let people out of prison early, to go easy on them.
Yeah.
Heck, your buddy, Gavin's buddy in Los Angeles, Gascon, he doesn't even prosecute. When you have,
I want
when I
Newsom
was
to
in Southern
respond to that.
California for the Reagan debate, a lot of the women tell me they have to take off all their jewelry just to be able to go shopping, because otherwise they're going to get mugged. That is the reality that people are facing in California.
All right.
Gavin can try to put lipstick on that pig, but the fact of the matter is he has failed the people of California.
Governor
No, I
Newsom.
love this guy talking about backing the blue when you dangled pardons for January 6 insurrectionists, 85 of them that were charged with attacking law enforcement. You talk a big game about backing the blue. With all due respect to the crime rate, again, he's not answering the fact that he has a higher murder rate than the state of California, a 66% higher gun death rate than the state of California. And I can easily answer this point. Gun safety saves lives. I don't think it, I know it. And the data bears that out in the state of California. California
No.
proudly does lead in terms of common sense gun safety. Common
No.
sense gun safety saves lives. You had the chance to do something meaningful. You had a chance to do something on behalf of those Parkland families.
Gun safety save
The
lives.
exact
Why does he
opposite.
have so
You
much
moved in the
mass
exact
Why are you
opposite
number
direction.
one?
With all due respect, look at your own backyard, Ron.
So
You're
I will
not
do
mining
that,
your
but
backyard on this issue.
I will do that because we have some of
Oh,
these.
so
We had
you're on
two
mute.
radical left Soros district attorneys, like your buddy Gascon in
Sorry,
LA,
I'm over here
one
triggered.
in Tampa, one in Orlando. They were endangering the public, and I removed them from their posts. Gavin Newsom has not lifted a finger to rein in Gascon in LA. That city has collapsed. That county's collapsed because he is not enforcing the law. So that's just the and here's the thing.
American city.
This is what's
That's just
happening. That
nonsense. That's just
California model,
hyperbole.
that's
Listen,
what
shut
happened in
up,
Philadelphia,
15
Baltimore, all
This
15
is the
seconds. We got
Twilight
to break.
Zone.
Come on. I mean, you're running for president of the United States. You're talking
You're going
down
to
the
break
great
again?
state of California. You're talking down one of the great American cities, Los Angeles. That's insulting. And you're doing it because you're trying to obfuscate the facts that you have a higher murder rate in the state of Florida and the state of California.
We
have
gotta
some
take
of
a
the
break.
lowest crime rates we've had in 50 years.
Well, we'll have more with Governor DeSantis, Governor Gavin Newsom on the other side as we continue
Wow.
the great state debate. Blue.
How do you have as many murders as you have in the state of California? As many
Right.
robberies, as many shootings? Like, how do you have all that and not answer one question and talk about what you're doing in the
Right.
state
Yeah.
of California to curb gun violence, but you bring up gun control and say this is the safest way to curb it?
Exactly.
How?
And you're
How
literally
does that
number one.
work?
You're leading.
Literally number one.
You're leading
Yeah.
everyone. What? Like, how did
Yeah.
nobody just, I would have been like, if I was Ron, I would have been like, stop the cap. Put the put the damn numbers
Yeah,
up
sound
right now.
Stop the cap.
Stop the cap.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look
I-
at the
look.
numbers, if you look at, they put together a list right here on 24/7 Wall Street, and it talks about the murders per 100,000 people in 2020 alone. Okay. And California is 26, with Florida being 25. So even if they do want to talk about what's going on there, they're pretty much not too far off from each other because
Mm.
criminals commit crimes.
Yeah.
We're
Regardless
talking
of the
about at
laws.
this point legislating morality. You can't. You
Yeah.
can't. At this rate, you need to arm more law-abiding citizens so that we can take out the trash. When there's criminals doing criminal things, allow us to shoot them. That way,
Yeah,
you ain't got to go to jail. We ain't got to waste tax dollars on you or on trial, on paying these judges. Arm the citizens. That's
Yeah.
how we get rid of criminals doing stupid things, because then they're afraid to do things out in the public like that because you
Yeah.
might get got. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wanted to
Come
bring this up.
on.
Mad Cow, he had mentioned earlier that he lives in Australia and they have banned guns there. Look at this.
Yep.
His murder rate went up after
Yeah.
gun reform. Okay.
Yeah. In Australia, they started shanking people a lot more. with knives. Once
Right.
they turned in, because they turned in a bunch of guns, like hundreds of thousands of guns,
Yeah.
and then more crime went up with like knife and things like that. So when
Mhm.
Newsom makes these laws, and I've been to the Capitol a lot last year, and all the laws they try to put, they had like common sense gun control. They talked about ghost guns and things like that. But all those laws are only for the people that own guns, not for the criminals that get them illegally.
Right.
Huh.
Exactly.
Well, we got some people in the comment section. Listen, we talk to everyone here. They are saying that we are ignoring the facts. I would love for you to present some facts in the comment section and allow us to fact check. Let's just do
the
it.
facts of what specifically is what I'm
Mhm.
curious about.
Let's do it.
Because so this is what I was trying to. I'm probably going to explain this very wrong, so my apology. But when they talk about, oh, red states have more murder rates, but from what I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, that it usually happens in the states or in the cities that have Democrats. That those murder rates are more for the Democratic cities, not the whole red state as a whole. But they'll use the red state as if it's just Republicans when some of
Yeah.
those cities have Democrats.
Mhm.
Yes,
Mhm. Yeah.
that's where the deception comes in.
Yeah.
Hey guys, really quick before this gets started again, I want to make sure that you guys are subscribing. Very, very important. We have a lot of people watching. Suni, give your I'm going to give mine and then you can give yours and Julia's. Mine is Let's Talk Darling on YouTube and Instagram. Suni, where would you like
Look, I
people
got
to
a bunch of
subscribe?
different names, you guys. Just come on over to Instagram if you're following. If you have Instagram, it's literally not Suni Blanks. It's right here on the screen. Literally not Suni Blanks. And if you're watching on Suni Blanks or Hot Mic, you can find me there too.
Yeah. And if you guys want to check out my stuff, all over social media, Today with Julius, all over social media. Find me anywhere, follow me everywhere, all that good stuff. And definitely follow Somewhere in the Middle, Hot Mic, and Let's Talk Darling. So
I love
I'm
the
just a
love.
guest in their home. So I
No,
took my
you're
shoes
not.
off when I came in.
You're part of the team. What are you talking about?
I took my shoes off when I came in, so it's all good.
Thank you
Are we
guys so
back?
much for all the comments, by the way. Yep, we're back.
We're back.
Hi, welcome back to Hannity, the Great Red State, Blue State debate. We continue with Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida, Governor Gavin Newsom of the state of California.
Uh-oh. Come on, we were doing so good. What's going on?
It'll be back. Don't worry.
Gentlemen, let's turn to the issue of parental rights. Now, in March of last year, Governor DeSantis, as you know, you signed the Parental Rights in Education bill. And let me read from it. It says, classroom instruction by school personnel or third parties on sexual orientation or gender identity may not occur in kindergarten through grade 3 or in a manner that is not age appropriate or developmentally appropriate for students in according with state standards. Critics have called the bill, quote, homophobic. This is the one they branded the Don't Say Gay bill. I ask you, Governor DeSantis, in especially the lower grades, should schools, and maybe all grades, should schools be focusing on reading, writing, math, science, history, computers, and maybe leaving values, considering parents might have different values than teachers at school, to the parents, to religious institutions? Or is it the role of the school? What is the role?
The role of the school is to educate kids, not indoctrinate kids. It's not to impose an agenda. It's to do the basics. And what we've said in Florida is it's inappropriate to tell a kindergartner that their gender is a choice. It's inappropriate to tell a second grader that they may have been born in the wrong body. Now, California has that. They want to have that injected into the elementary school. My wife and I have a 7-5 and a 3-year-old. We don't think that that's appropriate. And I know most parents do not think it's appropriate. It's also important to respect parental rights to know what curriculum is being used in the classroom, and everything should be age appropriate. I actually have something that I brought that some parents have objected to. So this is a book that's in some of the schools in California. In Florida, this is not consistent with our standards, called
You
Gender
busted
Queer.
out.
It's some of
You
it's
busted
blacked
out the
out. You would
porn.
not probably
And the
Oh,
beat and the
put
beat
this on there.
goes
This is
down.
pornography.
Oh,
Should
man.
not be in schools. When people like on the left say that somehow you're banning books by removing this from a young kid's classroom, no, this is not age appropriate. And so we're going to stand for the rights of parents. I think we need to do that nationwide. I don't think you can have a situation where some states just trample on the rights of parents. Parents have a fundamental right to direct the education and upbringing of their kids.
I mean, by the way, you've been on a banning bench. 1,406 books have been banned just last year under Ron DeSantis' leadership.
That picture,
I love that he
though.
keeps
Talk
pulling this
about
out.
what he
I've seen
just
this.
showed.
He's been doing this all over campaign trail. What's wrong with Toni Morrison's books?
It's not banned.
What's wrong? It's not true.
Not.
What's wrong with Amanda Gorman's
It's not
and
banned.
the poetry?
Not banned. Those are false
1,406.
narratives.
1,406 books
False narratives.
have been banned on your banning binge in the state of Florida. As it relates to parental rights, come on, California, it's in our Constitution, parental engagement. It's called the LCFF process.
right.
We actually require parental engagement on curriculum
No, he
development. And we don't.
No,
he
Complete
doesn't.
lie. We don't require K through third grade sexual education. That doesn't happen until middle school. What you're doing is using education as a sword for your cultural purge. And you know what? With all due respect, you know, I remember in the 1970s, we had a bill called the Briggs Initiative. And there was a guy by the name of Ronald Reagan, so offended by the Briggs Initiative, which was the original Don't Say Gay bill. In that case, it was not allowing teachers that happened to be gay to teach. And Reagan had the courage to stand up and he said, you can't catch gay like you can measles. I
How
don't
about
like the way you
2019 when
demean
Newsom
people. I don't
signed
like the way
executive
you
order
demean the
to allow
LGBTQ community.
masturbation?
I don't like the way you
Right.
demean and humiliate people you
LGBT
disagree
schools.
with, Ron. I really find this fundamentally offensive. And this is a core
Oh,
value
what is that?
that distinguishes the
Somebody
values
tried
of
to
my
put a link
state
to
and
something.
frankly, the vast
Oh.
majority of Americans against the weaponization of education
How is
and
it
the
demeaning
purging
anybody?
that he's
I have a
advancing.
follow-up question for you, though. And by the way, first, Governor, yes or no? Are the book banning issues, is that not a state issue? Is that a state issue or a local
It's
issue?
local, and he's
Okay,
lying.
that's all I wanna
The
know.
home book wasn't
But
there.
let me,
That
here's
was
the
not
question I
okay,
have.
yeah.
1,400
Here's the
books have been
question I have
banned
for
in
you,
the state.
Governor Newsom.
1,406.
Some of the books you're talking about, one is called, the governor just brought it up, it's called Gender Queer, a memoir,
Mhm.
explicit pornographic book showing sex acts. Another, Flamer, graphic book about young boys performing sex acts at summer camp. This book is gay, a book containing instructions on the ins and outs
So this
of
book is gay.
sexuality. Let me finish. Let's talk about it. A book that contains graphic descriptions about how to masturbate for males and females. My question to you, Governor Newsom, those books, do you believe that's appropriate for school districts to teach kids? Yes or no?
Come on, those aren't not. It's not part of the curriculum. They're
Stop
not teaching.
lying.
Yes, it
Those are
is.
books that were.
Damn.
Hold on. The bottom line is you are on
not
a
gonna
book
answer
banning
nothing.
binge your state.
Deflection once
Ah,
again.
the flag.
Yeah.
Bring him back. Bring him back.
362 in this
Circle
country.
back.
You didn't answer.
Florida's
What about
leading-
those
no,
books?
Florida. That's
Where's
not-
Jen
we
Psaki
don't
when you need
Sean
her?
Hannity sucks, bro.
K
You're like
through
the
third
worst
grade
mediator ever.
education.
He's
That kind
asking
of
good
curriculum is just
questions, but
made
not
up.
moderating
These guys
good.
make it up. It's
Yeah.
part of this cultural purge.
Should it
It's
be?
just a made
What grade?
up gender
What grade
issue.
would it be
What
acceptable?
what I find
grade?
offensive,
Mm-mm.
Sean and Ron, what I find offensive is a very significant number of these books happen to be LGBTQ
Deontay.
books. A significant number of these books
think it's
happen to be
appropriate in
about
school?
African Americans.
Do you
And I
think?
Oh,
it's
here we go.
appropriate-
Bring up the
Governor,
black
There
folks.
we
Here we
go.
go.
appropriate in
Teach
school?
that.
He just
We don't teach that.
awoken Wakanda.
We have sex education in middle schools and high
Come
schools where it's
on,
appropriate.
bro.
This is a ginned up, made up issue to divide this country. You talk about dividing this country. This is part of the culture war, the weaponization of grievance. This is part
Okay.
using education.
Not gonna-
We're
not gonna
focusing
address
on
it.
math, science. We're focusing on reimagining
No,
our
you're
school
not.
We're gonna get to
system.
education
He's
next.
criminalizing teachers.
So-
and
Don't let him get
criminalizing
away
minorities.
from this.
They've
Check
Yeah.
out the
They've
wrong
used the
book.
schools to impose a liberal agenda, social justice. They have this ethnic studies where they're dividing people. That's what they're doing. But let me just say something about parents' rights, because he says California respects parents' rights. This is rich. He's been telling a lot of whoppers tonight. This may be the biggest. In California, if you're a parent in Iowa or New Hampshire or South Carolina,
Interesting
your
choice.
minor child can go to California without your knowledge or without your consent and get hormone therapy, puberty blockers,
is
and
true.
a sex change
That is true.
operation,
Yeah.
all
Mhm.
without you knowing
I was there at the
or
Capitol when he was
consenting.
talking about
How
that.
in the heck is that
But you know what?
honoring parents' rights when you're bringing people from out of state to go around their parents' backs and getting life-altering surgeries? That is
Yep.
radical. That
know
is
what, Ron?
extreme.
These
Parents
kids-
go
That is an
against it, the state
assault
can
on
take it in.
parents' rights.
You know what? Ron,
It's not for you to decide.
these-
It's
you
for
know
the
what?
parents to
It's for the-
decide.
you know what?
And the
These
parents
kids
do not
just
want their
want to
kids
survive.
going
I
to these
find this,
other
honestly,
things.
Let me
these
go
kids
to a
have the
follow-up.
highest
Let me
suicide
stay
rates
on
in
a
the
follow-up.
country.
Let's
They wanna
turn to the
survive.
issue of
Where's your
education.
decency and humanity.
Oh my
Embrace
God,
it.
this
I
guy is
taking ripping somebody
insufferable.
away
Gentlemen,
from their
gentlemen,
from
please.
their family.
No, nobody can.
Taking them to
Nobody can hear you.
That is
the Ron
wrong.
DeSantis
That is
brand.
wrong.
I'll tell you,
All right.
That should
America's
not stand
buying
in
it.
this
Ron,
country.
Let
Come
us
on,
turn,
man.
gentlemen, if I may,
Hannity,
to
you
the
suck,
issue of
bro.
education.
No,
Here
bring
is
him back
public
to
school
that-
spending
that
per
book.
K through 12 students, according to the Education Data Initiative from the U.S. Census Bureau and National Center for Education. Florida spends nearly $12,000 per student, while California spends over $16,000. Florida is ranked #1 by U.S. News and World Report. In terms of state education rankings, California ranks 20th. Governor Newsom, what is your explanation? You spend more money and they have better results in Florida.
I
Why?
just told you what I'm doing in public education. We created a brand new grade pre-K for all. We're doing after school and summer school for all. We're reimagining the school day,
Dude,
not just the school
He just
year.
made
We
everybody
just
forget about the
provided
porno.
3.4 million of our students, upwards of $2 billion for child savings accounts, and the opportunity to start businesses when they graduate. We have one of the best records under COVID, during COVID. And again, you didn't answer to the fact you had more learning loss. Ron DeSantis had more learning loss during COVID. Fourth grade
Listen, we
reading,
never
fourth
answer.
grade math, eighth
That was
grade reading,
across the
eighth
board
grade math.
nationally.
We
All
outperformed
kids
you
that were out
in
of
every.
school
It's
for
a
that long.
fact during COVID in every one of those categories.
on, bro.
I
Bring it
can't
back to
wait to get
COVID.
all the PolitiFacts tonight because Ron, you keep denying some basic fundamental facts on health, wealth, and
Wait till
education.
Gavin sees
We
all the facts
outperformed you
against him.
during COVID.
Right.
You talk about things to
This
apologize.
guy is
You
a
should
genius.
apologize for your
I'm
COVID
sorry.
record. You were with Fauci. You aligned with vaccines. You aligned with CDC guidelines until you didn't in
All right.
tens of thousands of people.
Actually,
died.
Let's return our focus to education.
Well, when we opened the schools, we bucked all of those people June of 2020. He kept the schools closed for a long time, and that had devastating impacts.
Go
And
back to
why?
that porn thing,
What
Ron.
Gavin
to that.
Newsom does in California is kowtow to the teachers union. Whatever they tell him to do, he
Get off
does.
of
He
that,
will
bro.
never balk the teachers union. That's why the kids were locked out of school for so long. Joe Biden is in the pocket of the teachers union, and so is Kamala Harris. That's why they
And by
fought
the way, it's
school
not
openings
Kamala Harris.
when he
Shame
came
on
in
you.
there.
It's
When
Kamala
they had
Harris.
that.
Oh my
Oh
Harris
my
office, and he brought in
fucking
Nobody
union
cares.
to do
Gavin
all these
Simpson.
different things to try to keep the schools
Oh
Gavin
closed.
my
Simpson.
So the
God.
Democratic Party, the far left in this country,
Ugh.
they are owned lock, stock, and barrel by the teachers union. I beat the teachers
Yeah,
union
new
in
name.
Florida to get the
Gavin
schools
Simpson.
open first in the
Oh,
country
God.
during COVID. Also to do universal school choice. Every parent in
He
Florida
said,
has a
"It's
right to send their
ma'am."
kid to the school of their choice. We're winning these fights. California is bending the knee to the union because they control the
All right,
politicians.
let's
He's
move
stuck
on.
on
A
his talking
topic
point.
that will seemingly play a very large role in the future elections.
banging
It's the issue
Kamala,
of
I'm sorry.
abortion.
Yeah.
You
I have a
defend like that,
question
he
for
banging her.
both of you. I'll ask you to please respect the individual's right to answer uninterrupted. And that is Governor DeSantis. I think it's actually your turn, Governor Newsom, if you don't mind.
All good.
Most medical professionals believe a baby is viable outside of a mother's womb
Here we go.
by between 24 and 26 weeks. That is the general scientific consensus. It
important
changes.
question.
There are some variations on it. Abortion is legal in your state, quote, up to viability, is my understanding, unless the mother's health is in danger. I'd like to get you on the record. You've been unwilling to answer this question. Should there be any restrictions on the issue of abortion that you support at all? Because funding in California, you have allocated in your budget $265 million for abortion last year alone. My question, very specific. Do you support any restrictions at all on abortion, especially in months 7, 8, and 9, past viability?
I'm going to answer that question, but let's talk about the issue of abortion. Let's talk about the issue.
You're
of
going to
abortion.
answer it?
I'm going to answer that
What?
question. I'll repeat that. But I think this is important and it bears repeating. Ron DeSantis signed the most extreme anti-abortion bills in America. He signed
This
a
guy's
bill banning any exceptions for rape and incest.
I
And then he
can't.
said it didn't go far enough and decided to sign
Now
a
his new name is
6-week
Gavin.
They
ban
want to know what
before
you
women
think.
even know they're
I
I want to know
know.
what
pregnant,
you
Ron,
think.
before women can even access a doctor's appointment. So extreme is your ban that criminalizes women and criminalizes doctors that even Donald Trump said it was too extreme. On the issue of the extreme exception that
Just
you
answer the
highlight
question, buddy.
as it relates to the issue
Wow.
of later term
Just answer
abortion,
the
it's
question.
almost always because of a fetal anomaly, the life of the mother. And in those rare
Where you at,
cases, I
Hannity?
trust, in answer to your question, I trust the mother and her doctor to make that decision.
So in other words, I want to be
Listen,
clear on
dog.
this. If a woman and her doctor, for any reason,
Not for any reason.
No,
It's-
no, no,
it's
no. I'm asking,
extremely rare.
should there
This is a
be?
canard. I know where you guys are going, Sean. You're even
I'm
uncomfortable
asking-
with this
Just
whole
answer the
issue.
question, buddy.
This is where you guys have
I'm
to
asking,
go to cover for the
should-
extreme
should there be-
anti-abortion agenda of
Who's-
Ron
Should there be?
Who's
Insert your-
would you
moderating this
support
debate?
a ban
I know.
on abortion
Gavin
in 7th,
Newsom?
8th, or 9th month
I just answered
if
the
the
question.
if the mother's life is
It is
not
an
in jeopardy?
extreme exception. People aren't going on and having abortions.
Should it
late
be
term
illegal then?
unless something
If it's rare,
devastating has happened?
should it be
It should
illegal?
be up to the mother and her doctor and her conscience.
What about the
Almost
jab? How come
no
that wasn't
restriction.
up
I've
to
already
us
answered it.
and
No,
our
I've
already
doctors?
answered
Like, I don't.
To cover
Okay.
up again. Hold on. For the most extreme abortion ban in the country. I have a simple question though. This is important.
No, 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 no.
Just answer
I'm
the
asking the
question.
Ron DeSantis,
dog.
will you or will you not sign a 6-week ban
Okay.
in the unlikely
let-
case you
let me-
become
Governor
president of the United
DeSantis,
States?
let's
Would
talk
you sign a
about
national ban?
let's talk about
He
your
won't
state.
answer that. He's
You
getting
had-
saved
you
here
had 15
on that
weeks.
fundamental question.
You had a 15-week rule in California. You reduced it to 6. My question is this. What was your thinking
Wow.
behind it? Was it for religious reasons? Was it for
Why is he softballing
scientific
him?
reasons?
What was
What
your
was the reason for you from going
How
from
did you
15
feel
weeks
when
to
you wrote
6
this
weeks?
piece of legislation?
Well, I believe in a culture of life. I think we're better off when everybody counts, when everybody has an opportunity to do well. And that bill attaches when there's a detectable heartbeat for the child. And some states have done that. Some states have done others. Some states have done later. And obviously they have a right to do that. But I think about one of our Floridians, a lady
Yeah.
named Penny Hopper. She actually survived a late-term abortion back in the day, and they left her on the table there to basically wither away. Her grandmother came, saved her, brought her to a hospital, saved her, and she ended up living a good life. So she counts and she matters. And I think that what the position that we have from the modern left, including in California, is that they will take your tax dollars and they will fund abortion all the way to the moment of birth. He's wrong when he says the later terms are all because of this. 88% past 15 weeks are in fact elective from the Florida data. He doesn't keep data there, but that is really extreme to take your tax dollars and to do this all the way up to the moment of birth. He didn't answer your question about any type of protections at all for a baby that has a beating heart, that can feel pain, that is viable.
All right. Let me hold on.
Respectfully, this is an important conversation. Will you or will you not support
You didn't
a
answer,
national?
Sean. Why
Ron,
didn't you
will
answer
or will
his
you
question?
not support
Why didn't
a
you
national
support?
ban if
Why-
it lands on your desk? You couldn't answer that
I'm
in
curious to hear
any
that
other
answer.
context.
Okay,
Answer it
gentlemen,
tonight.
Why
It's a
are you
simple
moving
letting
on
him
to the
talk-
next issue.
No,
Oh
Sean,
my
not a next
God.
issue.
Come
The
on,
American
Ron.
people should know this. I'll answer it for Ron DeSantis. He can't answer it. He will sign that extreme.
Okay,
6-week
let me move
national
on.
ban. The
Yeah,
American
but you didn't
people
answer
should
the
know
question
I'm
at
calling
all.
this
So
the
what are you
lightning
talking
round.
about?
It'd be great if you guys cooperated. I'm not a potted plant here.
Good.
And I want to
See,
ask
you
you,
could've
Stop
called
acting
me.
all
like
know
it.
that federal policy
Yeah.
does have a huge impact on states. We know that. I'm going to ask you 3 simple questions, and I just want one-word answers, okay, from 3 of you, because
Do our best.
we're coming up on a break. And the issue is right now Joe Biden is president.
Yep.
So I would like both of you to give a grade to Joe Biden overall as president. Governor Newsom,
A.
I'll give A.
An A, absolutely.
Governor
I think it's been a
DeSantis.
master
Failed.
And a
This
failure.
motherfucker
Okay.
said
No,
an
that's
A.
your
Now,
campaign
number 2,
president.
are his policies
An
helping
A.
or hurting your individual states? Is it helping the state of Florida?
The inflation is hurting our state big time.
Grade.
Fail. He failed.
Fail.
He's failed on
What
the
would you-
The
economy.
guy just took
Is it helping
$28
the
million
state of
from the
California?
Science and Tech Act. Thank you, Joe Biden. It's absolutely accelerating our dominance in
28 million, wow.
manufacturing, accelerating our revitalization
Okay,
of
that
our
was a
state.
simple
The answer is
answer.
unequivocally,
Lastly,
absolutely yes.
okay, I will ask you, Governor DeSantis. I have played over and over again, and Governor Newsom, you have seen over and over again. Joe Biden is experienced what I believe to be significant cognitive decline. And in other words, it's the
I don't really
toughest
care
job in
about
the
that,
world.
though.
Is Joe Biden experiencing this cognitive decline? Is it a danger to
We
the
all
country?
know he is. What type
I
of
know,
dumb
I
question is
understand
this,
the question.
Hannity?
I know. This
What
is
is your reaction to it?
Yes, he's in decline. Yes, it's
Gavin
a danger
Newsom's
to the
gonna say,
country.
no,
He
he's
has
not in
no
decline.
business
Then
running for
what?
yeah.
president. And Gavin Newsom agrees with that. He won't say that. That's why he's running his shadow campaign. He
Oh,
should
Lord.
not be running. He is not up to the job, and it is dangerous for this country.
Well, I will take Joe Biden at 100 versus Ron DeSantis any day of the week at any age. In fact, all of
Do
the
you
folks
think
on
he's
the
up to
at
the
any
job? Do you think
age,
he's
yeah.
100%?
I've been spending
100%?
plenty of time with Joe
100%?
Biden in
Okay.
private
Let
and
him
public.
answer.
You don't know. And by the way, results matter. Inflation now is down to 3.2%. Wages are up to 4.4%. The economy is booming, 5.2% GDP growth in the last quarter. Those are facts you don't hear on Fox
Christ,
News.
bro.
14 million jobs, 10 times
Let me
more than the
move
last
on. That
three
was the lightning
Republican
round.
presidents
Now,
combined.
on March
Biden won.
31st,
That was a lightning round.
1968, President Lyndon B. Johnson famously said, "I shall not seek and I will not accept the nomination of my party for another term as your president." Now, despite being an incumbent president who is eligible to run for re-election, Governor Newsom, I've interviewed you twice on this issue. You say you are not running for president in 2024. In fact, you recently said, quote, you think that Vice President Harris is naturally the one lined up to run for president if Joe Biden were to bow out. Governor Newsom, tonight I ask you, will you make an LBJ-like statement? And Governor DeSantis, you say he's running a shadow campaign. In your response, I would like you to answer that. Will you say unequivocally, under no circumstances are you running?
Correct. I've said, I don't know how many times I can say it. Just making this stuff up about a shadow campaign. Bottom line,
if at the DNC convention they come and
Joe
ask you,
Biden-
will you run? What will you say?
Joe Biden will be our nominee in a matter of weeks. And in a matter of weeks, Sean, he'll be endorsing Donald Trump as a nominee for the Republican Party.
If they come to you at the DNC and Joe is incapable of running and they ask you, are you a hard no?
And it's not even optional. He's doing fantastically. I appreciate and respect the work the president's doing and the vice president's, the Biden-Harris campaign and team. So absolutely unequivocally,
Vice
I look
President
forward
Harris would be the
to
next person.
continuing to support their efforts. President Biden will be reelected. Donald Trump will be rejected.
I think what he's saying should color every single thing. I mean, I've called him on a lot of the lies, but he says Joe Biden is 100% up to the job. You know that that's not true. Anybody that can look, he wants you to believe him over your own lying eyes. When he says the economy is so great, how great is it when you're going to the grocery store now? How great is it when you're trying to afford a home? How are those interest rates doing? What about affording a new car? So we have to get real here. We have to understand that Biden is not up to job. But here's I think the problem. What Biden would do, the people around him, they would look to California for the model to go forward in the next 4 years. That would accelerate the decline of this country. Yeah. Freedom is what works. The failures need to be left in the dustbin of history.
Yeah, tell freedom to women that you're trying to criminalize in your state. And
all right, we're retreating to old ground. For years,
this notion of freedom,
gentlemen,
it is not freedom.
One of the things I wanted to accomplish here is the policies that you both implement have a great impact on the citizens of your individual states. For years, a gallon of gasoline, Governor Newsom, in California has been notably higher in your state than in the state of Florida.
That's right.
Here are the numbers, by the way, recent numbers. The average cost for a gallon of gas nationwide, just over $3.24. In Florida, $3.17. In California, it is a whopping $4.85. Yeah. So, Governor Newsom, I ask you, you've also sued big oil companies, alleging executives have deceived the public about the health of our planet, knowing that it's a polluter. If your lawsuit is successful, that would likely mean higher gas prices, even higher gas prices for everybody. Here's my question, though. Could you name right now one source of energy that you can bring online in the next 3 to 6 months that would be as inexpensive for the people in this country as fossil fuels?
Well, let me touch.
Can you think of that energy?
Let me touch on I'm going to get to your question, and then let me touch the latter part of your question. Let me get to the first part of the question.
Okay.
You're absolutely right. Since the 1980s, Republican administrations, Democratic administrations have experienced, under their stewardship, experienced higher gas prices in the state of California. We've been ripped off by big oil. We continue to be ripped off by big oil. Big
Whose
oil
fault is that?
now is met a new foe, and that's the state of California, the most aggressive anti-gouging law in America, more transparency being required than any time in America. And yes, we're suing the industry responsible for this climate crisis. By the way, the same climate crisis that Ron DeSantis celebrated as human cause, who campaigned for a fracking ban, who campaigned to oppose offshore oil drilling, and then 2 days after he got elected, signed an executive order. By the way, Nikki Haley had you dead to right on this, Ron. Signed an executive order doubling down, saying you're adamantly opposed to fracking, adamantly opposed to offshore oil drilling. You were celebrated by the Sierra Club for that action until you weren't. Once again, it shows the hypocrisy of Ron DeSantis. Now you're running away from climate change as things have gotten worse. Hurricanes, wildfires, droughts, and floods. $179 billion of weather-related disasters. And he has no response except talking points from big oil.
Governor
That was a mouthful. Again, just more lies. But here's the thing: California is the only one that oil companies are gouging. Why aren't they doing that to Georgia or Florida or these other states that have lower gas prices? Because of their policies. That's why people are paying more there. What Gavin Newsom wants to do, what he's doing in California, what Biden wants to do nationally is government-dictated green energy policies. They want to kneecap fossil fuels and reliable energy. We've already seen what's happened in California. They have rolling blackouts. He actually implemented a mandate to buy electric vehicles. So pretty soon in California, you're not going to be able to buy a normal car, only electric vehicles. And they celebrated that as like a great thing. A couple days later, there was a notice from the state government telling all EV owners, do not plug in your EV because they don't have enough grid capacity. So he is walking his people into a big time disaster. What Biden wants to do is he wants to take the California model. He wants to impose that nationally. He wants to take away your ability to purchase the car that you want. He wants to kneecap reliable energy. And he wants to bring these rolling blackouts all across the United States of America. It doesn't work. It's going to cause huge problems. We have more energy here. We can be the dominant energy producer in the world. Florida, and that's what we're going to do. Florida is not a big energy state. We have the Marcellus Shale. We have the West Texas. We have all of that. So let's do that. No forcing electric vehicles.
We got to take a break.
Save the American automobile.
When we come back, we'll continue the great state, red state, blue state debate. More with Governor Ron DeSantis, more with Governor Gavin Newsom as we continue.
Man.
Thank you for being with us.
Hey, welcome, Liddell.
What's up? What's up?
What's up? You want
Gavin is killing me. Gavin is killing me, man.
You want to go, Liddell, since you just joined, you want to go ahead and give us your thoughts so far on this debate?
Forgive me, I'm a little under the weather. I'll be okay though. This is a waste of time from a presidential standpoint, but from a marketing standpoint, it's phenomenal for both people, both candidates. Of course, what Gavin Newsom is talking about, he's spinning lies. Let's stop playing. Well, the reason why California is where it is because of the fact of their policies. It's going broke. People are leaving California in droves right now. Again, if your policies are working so well, why do you have to sell them? If they're working so well, why aren't your citizens talking about, man, he's the greatest governor we've ever had? No one is saying this. They're not. On Governor DeSantis' side, I think he can be a little bit more decisive. He could talk more about his record a little bit more. I got to give it to you. Gavin Newsom he's a pretty good debater, even though he may be lying. He's a great debater. Ron DeSantis, he's okay. He's not a very good debater, but it's very evident to see who's a better governor. DeSantis is. It's real simple.
Yeah, I think the problem is too is that with this debate, what the issue I have with Ron is that when Gavin Newsom deflects, Ron DeSantis will start to debate the deflection versus sticking to the actual topic.
Yeah, I
agree.
And that's
totally,
what makes
100%.
That's what makes him look bad. So people who are the normies who are watching, Newsom's winning because look at Ron DeSantis like freaking out because he's not sticking to the subject. He's just like, but, and it's like, It's not making him look good. If he would have just let Newsom just yap, and then say, here's what I did. I did this, that, and the third. Meanwhile, Newsom doing the opposite. That would have made him look a whole lot better.
I agree.
Agreed. Real quick, guys, while we have Liddell up here, if you guys want to subscribe to Liddell and his YouTube channel, he's an investor and an entrepreneur. He talks a lot of things about money and real estate and investing. I think him and his wife even talk about relationships and marriage. So he's got it all over there. And you guys can go to Liddell Bugs on YouTube. That's LADALEBUGGS. And you can also subscribe to Truth in the Marketplace on Instagram if you want to follow him.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that, Mo. It's just, I think that Ron needs to be more decisive to talk about his record. And I agree with Julius. And then comparison. Great. Newsom did this. Look at the results. I did this. Look at the results. You be the judge. It's very simple. Our gas prices were, I used to have a house in Florida, really under his tenure as governor. It was very easy to see. You had gas prices at what, $2.30, $2 at one point, and in California, you're looking at $4, $5, $6. I mean, it's easy to see. It's barbecue chicken.
Yep.
Easy. It's barbecue chicken.
Easy. Did you guys want to hit the topic of abortion? They brought it up. You said no.
I'm just saying, like, it went nowhere.
Yeah, because it
did go nowhere.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's like Newsom won't answer the question, and Democrats always do this too. They won't answer when they want to make it illegal or not for certain, viability for certain months, and then Newsom points to DeSantis. Well, he's trying to criminalize women, and it's just the same back and forth. There's never a solution. There's never like, listen, I have it at 6 weeks for heartbeat, but this is the solution. It's always just he, and it. I don't know. It just never. That topic just like, man.
Gavin Newsom, Governor Ron DeSantis, according to the Department of Housing and Urban Development, these are the numbers for the homeless population in each of your states. It is a big problem around the country. In the state of California, it is 172,000. In Florida, it is 26,000. Now, the per capita numbers are pretty much the same. For California, it is 44 per 10,000 people, while Florida has 12 per 10,000 people. So, Governor DeSantis, I ask you, why the disparity? What are the policies you are implementing that is different from that of California?
California is adopting leftist policies. Gavin Newsom was governor or mayor of San Francisco. He put out a 10-year plan like 20 years ago. He was going to end homelessness. Then a few years later, he had another plan. And now he says he's going to do, and it's only gotten worse. In the last 10 years in California, the homeless has gone up 45%. It's gone down in Florida, 45%. But it's caused a huge problem with quality of life in California. The people that flee always bring up this. They've really empowered lawlessness and drug use. And, Gavin Newsom at one point tried to say that California was the freedom state. And I just kind of laugh, like, you're locking people down, you're doing all this. But then I thought about it, California does have freedoms that some people don't, that other states don't. You have the freedom to defecate in public in California. You have the freedom to pitch a tent on Sunset Boulevard.
You go.
You have the freedom to create a homeless encampment under a freeway and even light it on fire. You have the freedom to have an open air drug market and use drugs. You have the freedom, if you're an illegal alien, to get all these taxpayer benefits. So those are freedoms. They're not the freedoms our founding fathers envisioned, but they have contributed to the destruction of the quality of life in California. And the results speak for themselves. People are leaving the state because they have failed in addressing the homeless population.
Well, I love the rant on freedom. I mean, here's a guy who's criminalizing teachers, criminalizing doctors, criminalizing librarians, and criminalizing women that seek their reproductive care. You're making it harder to vote. You're banning books. I mean, spare me this notion of freedom. Ask the folks at Disney about freedom and free enterprise. Ask the folks at the Special Olympics that you threatened to fine with $27
because they were discriminating against the athletes.
Who goes after special?
See how Ron arguing the deflection?
That's being a liberal bully. That's being a bully.
Really?
They had
Attacking-
Down syndrome, and you wanted to
Stop falling for
discriminate against
deflection,
them.
Ron. Let him just talk.
They were
$million
discriminating
fine
against
special
because they
subjects.
were discriminating
I find that
against the
disgraceful.
athletes.
On the
They wanted
issue
to
of
marginalize
homelessness-
the athletes,
All right.
and you wanted the athletes marginalized. That was wrong what you did. These are
See,
kids with
this-
Down
this-
By the
syndrome
way,
that just wanted to
I
compete.
actually like what
and
he's
you
doing.
wanted them. You
adoption
wanted
of
them out
special
of the
kids. I've
Special
been
Olympics.
working with
You're a
Special
liberal
Olympians all
bully.
my life.
You
How
wanted them
dare
to be.
you.
You
How
wanted them to
dare
be
you, Ron.
ostracized.
You
I
threatened
taught.
to
You should
fine
talk to
Special
Isabella
Olympians
from
for
Florida. She got to
$27 million
participate because
in
we
Gavin
stood
Newsom
up
is a
for her.
genius.
How
I
you
just want
treat-
y'all to know.
I know. That's what I'm
No,
saying.
hold on.
It's like
It's your
No,
turn.
let me say,
Genius.
I can handle that. I can handle it. I'm used to that. But you know what?
You wanted her.
Your
not to
attacks
compete.
on the trans community,
You
your
wanted
attack
her
on the
not
gay
to
lesbian
compete.
community,
That's wrong.
you attack
She should have been able
vulnerable
to compete.
communities,
And we
you
stood
attack
up for them,
women.
and we made sure they
Again,
could
Ron,
compete.
He's
relax.
a genius.
I can handle it.
Yep.
I'm used to bully. You're nothing but a bully.
You're a
I
bully.
understand that. Intimidating and humiliating
Yeah,
people.
right now
That's
he
your
seems
calling
Why
like
card.
did you want the
small.
And by the
Special
way,
Olympians
Yeah,
not
how
to be
well
able
is
to
it going
compete?
for
Newsom
Why do you
looks
want
like
them not to
the
be able to
bigger
compete?
man
How
right
well
now.
is this
Why do you
campaign
not
going?
want them to be
He's
able
not
to
going to let me
compete?
Like
talk.
Ron
Talk
looks like he's the
to
one
you.
You
losing
want to
it.
discriminate
Again,
against
I'll
an athlete
remind you,
with Down
Gentlemen, let's
the
syndrome.
blueprint,
He wanted
the
them to be
blueprint
excluded
for
from the
Florida.
Special Olympics.
You're a rookie,
has put Ron
DeSantis.
Gentlemen, if
DeSantis
I can.
41
Getting sunned out
points
here
down
right now,
on
man.
Trump as you try to get tough.
We said
and
that.
out Trump.
Let's go back to
On
the
the
homelessness.
issue of homelessness, it's been an issue for decades in the making in the state of California, ever since we started shuttering down our mental health institutions back in the day, in Ronald Reagan's day. The
Shuttering
difference is
down?
I'm the first governor in California history to take this head on. We are investing unprecedented resources, more accountability. We've gotten 68,000 people off the streets, close to 6,000 encampments we've gotten off the streets. We've also invested in unprecedented resources in reforming our behavioral health system. Ron has literally the worst mental health system in America, forgive me.
Every
outside
state
of-
in America
of
does.
Mississippi
Yeah.
and
Ron
Texas.
should bring up the
And
fact
so
that he
with
cleaned
all
up
due
San
respect to
Francisco
being
when the
lectured on
leaders
some of
came
these
in.
topics, Ron DeSantis is
Yeah.
not the one I'm going to be listening
30-second
I mean-
response. You're, well, I'm looking at total
Let's see how he
time.
responds.
Governor
Yeah,
DeSantis,
look,
about
this-
2
to. Give him
minutes.
an extra.
this
He
is-
needs it.
This is a map of San Francisco. There's a lot of plots on that.
There
You may
we
be
go.
asking, what is that plotting? Well, this is an app where they plot the human feces that are found on the streets of San Francisco. And you see how almost the whole thing is covered because that is what has happened in one of the previous greatest cities this country's ever had. Human feces is now a fact of life, except when
We
a
really
communist
spending money
dictator
on
comes to
this
town.
to
Then they
plot
cleaned up
human
the
feces?
streets. They
you,
lined the
Ron, for
streets
bringing
with
it up.
Chinese flags. They didn't put American flags there. They cleaned everything up. So they're willing to do it for a communist dictator,
go.
but they're not willing to do it for their own
That's
people.
just-
I want
that's
to get
just-
into
There
the
you
limited
go.
time we have
Such-
left. I
that's
want to
right.
get
Good
there
stuff.
are two very
Such
important issues we have not hit.
That's how
After
you
the
respond, Ron.
Hamas terror attacks on October the 7th, we have seen
Here
what
we
is
go.
nothing short of a
Here we go.
disturbing
Let's,
outbreak
let's go, Julius.
of virulent
Newsom's going to say Hamas is a
hatred,
terrorist organization.
anti-Semitism
He already
around the
tweeted that.
world, in the halls of our Congress,
Ron
on
tested maybe for
American
Israel.
streets,
Watch.
on college
Here
campuses.
we go.
Last month, outside in Sydney Opera House, in Australia. We've seen it all over Europe, but in Australia, anti-Israeli protesters literally in this day and age chanting, gas the Jews, F the Jews. In American
This
cities,
shit's
we have
about to get my
protesters
shit banned
calling for
again.
global Islamic war and demanding that Israel be wiped off the map, or in the words of Congresswoman Tlaib, from the river to the sea.
That's
Israel,
a
meanwhile, is
bold-faced
vowing to
freaking lie,
eradicate
bro.
the terrorist
Y'all
group
been
Hamas.
calling the
But
level
according to a report in
Palestine.
the New York Times this
Yeah, I
week,
know.
U.S. officials have warned Israel that they need more to
got
fight
something
more
to say about that
surgically
too,
in
Salif,
Gaza. Governor Newsom, 30 seconds for you. We have to cut back on time.
outta
How
here.
how can Israel win the war against this terrorist group using surgical strikes and directions
Well, this is the
from Joe
war in
Biden?
Israel. I visited Israel. I met with families, hostages. I saw videos of children being killed in front of their parents being
No, he
killed in
didn't.
front of their children.
No, he
I saw
didn't.
a beheading with a garden hoe. This is not complicated to me. This is a fight
With a
between
garden
good
hoe?
and evil. Hamas
Yeah,
is a
yeah,
terrorist
there's a video out there like
organization,
that.
and they need to be eliminated, not just for the people of Israel and Jews around the world, but for the Palestinians themselves. But when it comes to the issue of anti-Semitism, you just mentioned a lot of things that have been occurring on Ron DeSantis's watch. He said nothing.
You're calling
Masked
him
man
anti-Semitic?
marching. I'm
What?
saying he countenanced
That's actually
anti-Semitism.
not true.
He
And
just
now
shot
he's
himself
finally
in the
talking a
freaking
big
foot.
game ever since October
All right,
7th.
for the
How
sake
about
of-
the masked
for the-
man
for the
marching
sake
in the
of
street?
fairness of
Jews
time,
get the rope.
gentlemen,
You said nothing.
Governor
No, I
DeSantis.
Nothing
think
on
that,
these issues. Look at
Hamas
the
wants
record.
nothing
Governor
short
DeSantis.
than a second Holocaust. They want to destroy
Oh
Israel and
my
wipe every
God,
single entitled you off the map. Israel has every right to defend itself to the hilt. Biden should not be kneecapping them in any way, shape, or form. And by the way, Biden stranded a lot of American citizens over there. We're trying to get home. So I did an executive order in Florida, and we sent planes over to Israel right in the aftermath of October 7th. And we saved over 700 Americans, mostly Floridians, but not all, because Biden wouldn't do it. Finally, Biden started dumping
Mostly
people in
Floridians?
Greece. And then they were sending a bill to the Americans just
and
to
then you
get to
pass
Greece.
these laws
If you
against the
come to this
American
country
people.
illegally, they will pay to fly you all over the place. They'll put you up in a hotel at no expense. But yet our own citizens fleeing a war zone, they're going to send you a bill. Joe Biden failed those people, and we stepped up and got it.
Let me
done.
ask you. I want to turn to the
anti-Semitism.
We don't have a lot of
on
time.
your streets for years.
I want to turn to the issue
and you haven't
element of
done that.
China. I talk about this often. Intellectual property theft, unfair trade practices. That China has been hostile to our fighter jets in international airspace, hostile to our Navy in international waterways. We know all about the China spy balloon that happened 8 days right across the United States over military installations. The communist Chinese, they have nationals buying up thousands of acres of ranch land, farmland, and land near military installations. Their hostility towards Taiwan. They are, Governor DeSantis, our #1 geopolitical foe. I don't see that the Biden administration has been tough with them. What would you do differently?
Well, first, in Florida, we banned China from buying land in our state because you're right. You don't want them buying farmland or land near military bases. So we acted. We also got the Confucius Institutes out of our universities. China should not be involved in our universities at all. What you need to do is you need to have hard power in the Indo-Pacific to deter China's ambitions. You need to take the economy, and we need to decouple from China. We're dependent on them for so many things. And then finally, we need to get serious about their influence in this country. They shouldn't be able to buy farmland anywhere. I can tell you this, I would not go to China and grovel in front of Xi like Gavin Newsom did. He says China's a partner on climate change. China's adding 2 new coal plants every year. China's laughing at us with what they're doing. So yes, they're the #1 threat we face, and we need to take it seriously. And Joe Biden is not doing that.
This is just a reminder. I think it's a question some people are probably asking. I know Nikki Haley's campaign is asking, when are you going to drop out and at least give Nikki Haley a shot to take down Donald Trump in this nomination? She laid you out.
Damn.
You're a walking hypocrite.
You're
a walking hypocrite.
What about
on
China?
the issue of China? This is the guy that was looking for direct foreign trade from China, was doing trade
That
shows,
is
open
false.
up an
That's
awesome.
already been
That's
debunked. And you talk
absolutely
about the
true.
liberal fact
You are
checkers.
aggressive
Even
at-
the liberal fact checkers
Donald
did
Trump
that.
himself today called
Please.
you Red Ron for a
Please.
reason, because of your complete
Oh, no,
hypocrisy.
Red
We're almost
Ron.
out of
Again,
time.
talking a big game. I confronted Xi on the issue of fentanyl, Ron. I
Sounds like-
confronted them
Not on human rights, you
rights.
didn't.
Oh,
I
no, you
absolutely
didn't.
with the foreign minister and the vice
I
president.
thought the same
and
thing
other leaders
earlier,
in China.
so
You talk
Deontay,
a big
I agree
game.
with you.
Meanwhile,
Yeah.
you haven't
We're
done anything
overtime.
except tweet things
Final
out.
question, Governor DeSantis. We owe you about 90 seconds, but you get the last word. As per
How
the
do they
point
owe
clip.
him
What are you
90
giving me?
seconds?
5 seconds? What do I get?
No, I'll do okay.
Oh
I'll be a
my
little more
God.
generous than
All right,
that.
give me 90.
Look,
Typical
it's been a very
Democrat.
passionate
Give me
debate
more.
tonight. Actually, it's been fun to be a part of. I think the American people will decide. Governing philosophies could not be more different. But let me ask you this, kind of a fun question. You both clearly love your states. You visited each other's states.
Newsom does not love his state.
Governor DeSantis, you can take as much time as you want. You have an extra 90 seconds. What is your favorite thing about the state of California? And
I give him 5 minutes for this. I
Oh,
love
go
this.
right
That's a
ahead.
good question.
Five?
Well,
All right, we'll
just
stay longer.
when
5 minutes, Governor.
When I got orders as
Yeah.
a Navy lieutenant to go to Naval Amphibious Base Coronado, I had not spent any real time in California in my life. Florida native, and I'm very proud of the state. But I got down there, and that Strand is one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. And then all up and down, just a tremendous coastline. I do believe California has more natural advantages than any state in the country, which is why when you have so many people leaving on net, that's hard to do. Like, people don't want to leave there because it really is such a beautiful area. And I'm proud of the military installations that are there. I'm proud of what the Navy's been able to do in conjunction with the state. It was really important duty. It really helped forge me as an individual and as an American. And so I'll always have very, very fond memories of that nice Strand down there in Southern California.
I love that. I mean,
What do you
Ronald
love?
Reagan.
No, what do you love? I don't know what you love
Reagan
about
used to call
California.
California Coast of Dreams. By the way,
What do you
look,
love about Florida?
What I love about your question is the comedy in the question, meaning, you know what? we all want to be loved. We
This
need to be
guy.
loved. We all want to be protected, respected, and connected. I think there is a unity frame here. You said it
He won't feel
well. I
loved
mean,
about Florida.
Ron, I have no doubt Ron DeSantis loves this country. I love this country. It's not about red versus blue. It's red, white, and blue.
Gavin,
The United
what
States
you
of
love about
America.
Florida?
I think we're all better off, and we're all better off. And so I appreciate this conversation.
After calling
I
all of
appreciate
his
you,
antics
Ron,
anti-woman.
being a family man. You got 3 incredible kids. I appreciate your wife, your sacrifice, and I appreciate your military service. But I also appreciate we do have fundamental differences about the fate and future of this country. And that's why I'm going to be working so hard to get Joe Biden and Kamala Harris reelected in 2024.
You couldn't resist. You had to go right back to 2024. All right, here's the last question. Would you do this again?
Well, you know what?
I hope we could do another half hour. I got all night.
Joe
Let's
Biden
keep
should show
doing
up
it.
to a debate.
That's why I
have another 20 minutes, and I've got a lot of questions.
I'm happy to.
You want to stay?
Let's just do an extended hour. I'm happy to do it.
Okay, then
This has been
I
fun.
bet you are.
I think it's been fun, and I think it's been more entertaining. I'm sorry to the guests that I've been invited. I got to take a break, though. In the meantime, we've got to pay some bills. It's not a cheap set we built for y'all. I hope you like it.
Wow.
Jesus.
He's a smooth operator. That is Gavin's.
He's
That
good.
should be his. That should be
Oh,
his song,
He
man.
is.
He's
He
good.
is good.
Is there really more, or is that the end of it?
No,
I think
they're going to come back.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Let's fact check Gavin Newsom in real time.
All right. Let's do
All right.
it.
DeSantis is the most pro-Israel, anti-Semitic governor you are going to get in the United States of America. He has written several pieces of legislation in the state of Florida that bars you from even speaking about a said set of people. I cannot say who they are because I actually like my YouTube page. Okay. But he just told a big fat lie, a huge lie. That is one thing I will give him credit for, because I can't stand him for his anti-First Amendment policies.
Yeah.
I don't know. So correct me if I'm wrong. I saw something today that said that Congress pretty much voted to expand the anti-Semitism bill to where now you can't even question Zionism. They're making Zionism and anti-Semitism as one, and
Bill
only
269.
Be careful when you're talking about this, please.
I'm not gonna say. I'm just saying what Congress did. Congress just passed the bill. They expanded it.
You could state facts. They will still ban my. You could state all the facts you want. If they don't like what you say, I'm just saying we got to talk in code over here. This is like TikTok.
Gotcha.
Just say Bill 269. Anybody who's followed me, you watch my stuff, you know exactly what bill we're talking about.
Yeah, I think the ones who opposed it were Massey, and Tlaib didn't vote yes or no. I think it was more like abstain essentially. So just want to point that out. Yeah, but basically the GOP will pass certain bills, and anti-First Amendment bills, where you can't criticize a foreign country.
Welcome to America.
Gavin Newsom is a masterful liar.
Yes, 100%.
Incredible.
He's a masterful liar.
Incredible.
I mean, he can lie to you while smiling at you. He's masterful at it. That's scary.
Yeah.
That's what I said earlier. I was like, it's scary, basically. I was gonna say too, with Newsom lying, is that I've noticed that a lot with like Democrats, liberals, leftists, is that when they can deflect and like put passion behind deflection, if they get you to argue that deflection, it's almost like a debate where people bring up a straw man and then you want to debate the straw man because you want to be right. And that's how you lose the debate, because you're arguing the straw man. If you don't stick to the topic, then they'll get you every single time and look like the person who comes out on top, because they're arguing the deflection of the straw man. And then you go passionate, no, I didn't do that because I did this. And it's like, see how he's overreacting? And then they get you. So you got to stay on topic every single time with the debate. Somebody said debate homelessness, and then they go off on a tangent about something else. Don't argue that tangent. Stick to the homelessness. Let them talk, but stick to the homelessness.
And Ron kept falling for every single time he did it too.
Yep.
It was crazy.
Yeah, someone needs to he needs to get with a better team to teach him how to actually debate. Because although Gavin Newsom is lying, he's dog walking him right now. He's
Yeah.
dictating the conversation. He is dictating what they talk about, what they don't talk about. He's deflected. He has not answered one question all night. Not one.
Yep.
And DeSantis is falling for it. So that would be my criticism. He's telling the truth, sure, but you suck at this, buddy.
Yeah.
Really bad. Really bad.
Horribly. Yeah.
Deontay, we'll have you on one night. It's kind of hard because the more people we have on here and the talking, it's very hard to get everybody in the box and the video and all this other stuff. Real quick, guys, just housekeeping. If you guys want to subscribe to the channel, actually, we would love for you to subscribe to the channel, either on Somewhere in the Middle USA on YouTube or our individual channels. We also have our QRC code if you want to donate. If you want to donate to Somewhere in the Middle. Suni, did we have our link for our merch up here, or did we not reload that image?
We haven't reloaded it.
Okay, well, we'll reload the image, but you can get to, if you guys want to support the channel by buying merch or anything like that, you can do that as well. I think we are back. They're back on.
Both candidates had other commitments, and they realized afterwards they couldn't stay longer, but we appreciate them all being here tonight. Okay, what did you think about it? Is there a winner, loser, winners, losers?
Commentary.
You get to react. Anyway, here joining us, co-host of The Five and former Democratic Congressman Howard Ford Jr., along with the co-host of Outnumbered, Kayleigh McEnany, Fox News contributor Ari Fleischer. Kayleigh, we start with you. That was a very low-energy debate. That's my first observation.
And mine was the opposite. I know you're being facetious. What an edifying, constructive, smart hour with fact-based questions. Sean, one of the best events I've seen in a very long
Kayleigh
time.
McEnany, shut
on your part.
up, bro.
Look, in press, as when I was press secretary, Ari knows this. You ask yourself.
I mean,
do you
I'll
have
say
a
he asked
facts
great
problem,
questions. He
or
did
do
a
you have
shitty job
messaging
of
problem?
moderating.
And tonight, what you saw was a facts problem for Gavin Newsom. You put up the numbers; they were undeniable. You sourced them. And what the public saw was the sharpest, best messenger in the Democrat Party. I maintain that's Gavin Newsom, unable to message the rotting pile of facts before him, both in the state of California and nationally for Joe Biden. DeSantis had some really strong moments, particularly when he said, look, I talked to a guy who said, I love the employment down here. I love the wages down here. I love the state of Florida, how safe it is. Oh, by the way, that was your father-in-law, Gavin Newsom, also pulling out the map of the feces in San Francisco, another strong and powerful moment.
Sick.
So I think the clear winner, Ron DeSantis, and a new impossible task for Gavin Newsom.
Let's get your take, Ari Fleischer.
Well, I think watching this, you just realize Democrats are from Mars and Republicans are from Venus. I mean, they speak totally different languages. Ron DeSantis's language was one of economics, gasoline, $6, $7 a gallon, the lockdowns in California. It was very practical, very focused on people's daily lives, the rising cost of living. If you listen to Gavin Newsom, his whole message was identity politics, which is the language of the Democrats. I don't like the way you talk about migrants. We have to fight for women. Everything he says is about a group, an ethnic group, a chunk of America. It's not about America. And that's the language that Democrats respond to. So you really have two different approaches for what America needs. I will say this. Gavin Newsom is much more articulate, fast on his feet, and sharper than Joe Biden. And if I'm a Democrat looking at the presidential race, even if I dismiss Ron DeSantis, I have to still worry about Joe Biden. And that's a difference in just Biden's age, Sean, as you pointed that out. The final thing I'll say about DeSantis, I don't think that he closed the gap with Donald Trump tonight. It was a nice night for him, and he did well, and he had the facts on his side. But when you look at the purpose of him being there, which is to win a presidential race, I just don't think he closed the gap.
Yeah.
Actually, it was separate from that. I could just tell you in the discussion leading up to this that this was really a state versus state. And although clearly I think Gavin at times wanted to talk more presidential politics, Harold Ford Jr., your take.
So first off, congrats, Sean. I thought you did a great job, and you framed this thing the right way, a state versus a state. And both of these candidates who are governors were very passionate, patriotic. They defended their records. I think Kayleigh and Mr. Fleischer are right. I think what Ari said at the end there is probably most useful, and maybe the utility level is highest. Who did best for their parties tonight? I think one of the things, and Kaylee said at the outset, there's no doubt that Gavin Newsom will be the most important, the most forceful and articulate advocate on behalf of Democrats in this 2024 election. And Governor DeSantis, I think, displayed one of the things that Republicans are going to have to deal with. How do you talk about the economy? How do you talk about issues in the face of, I think, whether we like it or not, or agree or not, one of the most powerful issues in this election in 2024 is going to be this issue of reproductive rights for women. It's not going to overtake everything, but it will certainly be one of the most important issues. And I think where we are 6 months from today with regard to gas prices and inflation will probably determine more about the outcome of the presidential race than anything else. But as it relates to the state issues, Florida, California, I got to tell you, I was more impressed with Ron DeSantis than I thought I would be. I thought that Governor Newsom, who I think is one of the most effective presenters in politics, he was that tonight. But I thought that Governor DeSantis laid out very effectively his record in Florida. Was it able to do what he wanted to do on the presidential stage? Probably not. But tonight, I think he probably fared better than I thought a lot of people thought he might have fared against a guy in our party, Gavin Newsom, who I thought did well tonight. But I thought Governor DeSantis did a pretty good job tonight as well, too, defending his state and his record.
What did you think, Kaylee, about the answer when I quoted LBJ in terms of Gavin? There's a lot of suspicion, a lot of people around the country. Polls are bearing this out now more than ever, that people are seeing Joe Biden as weak and frail and in cognitive decline. That was not something that Gavin Newsom wanted to admit. But when you bring up the issue of whether or not, if his party came to him, whether he's been very clear in all three interviews that I've had with him, tonight being a debate, obviously I'm moderating, but that he thinks that it would be the Vice President Harris, and not him up next. If you say it that often, you have to take somebody at their word, don't you?
Well, as a political figure, there are certain things you have to say. This is why every single person, probably in all of time, who has run for president says, oh, no, it's not my time. I'm not thinking of that right now. I'm focusing on my state, my city, et cetera. And then several of them go on to run for president. There are certain things that you must say. Gavin Newsom tonight must have said over and over again, it's Joe Biden, and then given that head nod to Kamala Harris. But what I look at are what were the words of Gavin Newsom leading into the midterm elections. Days before the midterm elections, he talked about his fundamental grievances with his party. They're unable to message. It was someone, by his words, that seemed to be clearly posturing in the event of a red wave, either running himself and taking on Joe Biden or being the second alternative waiting in the wings. Then the red wave didn't happen. It crashed and burned. And all of a sudden, Gavin Newsom kissed the ring and says, yes, it's you, Joe Biden. You had a very good midterm election. I think he's waiting in the wings. He can't get on the ballot because we've missed several ballot deadlines. But I think he's waiting in the event that something goes wrong at the Democratic Party, at the Democratic National Convention, where they actually name the nominee. He's waiting there. That's the only reason that you do a debate like what we saw tonight, going toe-to-toe with someone who is running himself to be the GOP nominee.
Exit, quick grade. That's it. Ari, we'll start with you. How would you grade Governor DeSantis tonight, and what grade would you give Gavin Newsom tonight?
I'd give DeSantis a B+ in the way he handled the facts. I would give him a B- because he hardly ever looked Gavin Newsom in the eye. And if you're going to be strong, you need to look your opponent in the eye. He did it occasionally. You need to do it always. I would give Newsom a D.
He's known for not
just
doing
in
that.
terms of his mangling of the facts, his fabricating, his making things up. In terms of being glib, yeah, I'd give him an A. I don't think I've ever seen a guy stand in the on-deck circle, putting pine tar on his bat, studying the pitcher and swinging the bat, all the while denying that he's going to step up to the plate. That's what Gavin Newsom was tonight.
Harold Ford Jr., grades.
I give them both B+. I thought they did what they had to do tonight to try to advance where they were. I do think that if you're Governor Haley, if you're thinking about the presidential race tonight, Governor Haley probably is feeling fine tonight. And I think in the presidential race, former President Trump is probably feeling a much better. And if you're President Biden, you better sign Governor Newsom up to be your chief surrogate in this presidential race.
Haley, you get the last word. Grades.
DeSantis gets an A. He was the clear runaway winner. However, Gavin Newsom, given the bad pile of facts, gets a C. He's a sharp messenger. Watch out. That guy's coming. He's a rising star in the party.
All right. Thank all three. I appreciate it. Thanks for being with us. When we come back, Democratic pollster Mark
All
Penn
right.
and Congressman Chip Roy, they react.
I think we should give our commentary. We kind of already did.
We kind of
all
already
throughout
did.
the video, but like, I
didn't. I mean, I think DeSantis got a B. Okay, as far as like coming with some fire every now and then, but he didn't hold to it.
Right.
To me, Newsom, in terms of what the objective was, which was to debate, Newsom killed it. He killed it.
Yeah,
Like
he
him or
did.
not, he killed it.
With a bunch of lies and feelings.
Right.
That's all he did.
But most people don't know the facts, right? Like most people don't know the facts. They're looking at this debate to listen to see what they tell them the facts are. And if I didn't know the facts and I was listening to Newsom, I'd vote for him.
What you think, Liddell?
Yeah, this showed DeSantis is not really ready for the prime time. He's not.
I would agree.
It shows that he's, although he's great at executing policy, he's not good at communicating policy. DeSantis, I'm sorry, Gavin Newsom, he's going to spin. He didn't answer any question at all, period.
Yeah.
He dropped the ball tremendously on abortion. He didn't answer at all on abortion, period. I was not surprised at all about Gavin Newsom's performance. I expected it. That's what he does.
Yeah.
Deflect, lie. That's what a lot of debaters do. They just deflect and lie, and they're really good at lying. So that's why I tell everybody, don't fall in love with a politician. They're tools. They use us as tools to put them in office, using the tools to push the policies. It's very simple. Not hard.
Yeah.
What you got, Julius?
One thing I want to say is that I think this is something that the right, and I'm not saying it should be like what it should be, but I think a way that they can, connect to the left, you got to think the Democrats are willing to tug on your heartstrings. That's why Gavin Newsom came off with the feels versus what's real. Do you know what I mean? So we can lay facts all day, like facts don't care about your feelings. But if the left is going to keep using the feelings, Ron DeSantis and the right have to learn to mix facts and feelings. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you can mix those two. So for example, if when they talk about the abortion, right? It says something like, you don't care about mothers and what happens to them in 8-9 months of pregnancy. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, you can do that to make him think that he doesn't feel anything about it.
Right.
If you want to tug on heartstrings, use that against him. You don't care about mothers? Really? You don't care about black mothers? I would go that route. You don't care about black mothers? They're the most affected, Newsom. Just use it against them. But mix the facts in there with the feelings. They go, oh wow, man, Ron's right.
But see, aside from facts and feelings, this is where Trump stands out from everybody, is he is somehow able to connect to everybody and make them feel like he's right there next to them and they believe that, right? So, Newsom does a great job of really triggering the emotional side of women and all these other things that he does. But Trump, man, he can really connect people in the heart. And I think that's why he's on top always with this, like him or not.
But Trump has a problem with deflecting too, though. Like he does it a lot.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. He's a master.
You're on mute.
Nah, look, you're gonna get a whole lot of Trump commentary from me as far as how he handles himself in the media and in the public. He's a politician. All politicians pull at your heartstrings. All politicians use social issues to get ahead. I think that is kind of cliche of a politician. Most people are looking for politicians to come in there and be a dog. And that's what Trump used to do. So how about we get that Trump back and go back to the ideology of facts don't care about your feelings? Because at the end of the day, this country is not ran off of feelings. All right? It's just not. Nobody, I don't care how you feel.
Right. But I mean, I'm just saying that if the left is going to do that, use it against them to like, I don't know, like I'm not saying to be in their feelings, but they should use it against them to go, oh, what?
No,
You
I
don't care
get what
about
you're
this?
saying. You can definitely use feelings in a very logical way in a debate and get your way. You can. But DeSantis is not a debater. He doesn't know how to flip logic. He knows how to pinpoint thing that you've done, but like disrupting a narrative, disrupting that feeling. You have to be a very skilled person to do that. I don't think he does not garner that skill. DeSantis is very dry. He's boring.
He is.
I will say he didn't come off presidential. And that's one thing I will give Trump credit to. Whether you like him or not, he always comes off like presidential. You know what I mean? Even if he says the most asinine thing. So it's like he just has that stance that like he commands the audience attention. Ron DeSantis doesn't really have that. Unfortunately, Ron DeSantis, if you ever watch this live, I'm sorry, brother, but you just don't have that. You know what I mean? You don't have that it factor. You're cool, but you don't have that it factor. I mean,
I
you're
do
cool
want
until
to
you
point
start passing
something out though.
anti-First Amendment bills.
I don't know if anybody else thought of this while Gavin was up there. And Liddell's pointed this out too. Biden is not campaigning for 2024. Politicians around him are campaigning for Biden 2024.
Yep.
This was
Exactly.
Biden versus DeSantis tonight. And they can't put Biden on the stage because he is not there. The mall is open, but ain't nobody shopping. You cannot put him on the stage. They're not going to put him on this. I don't even think there will be a debate. I'm starting to agree with people now. There will not be a debate. Trump versus Biden. There will not be a Republican versus Democrat debate. There's no way they put him on the stage.
Yeah, he won't make it.
No way.
He won't make it.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that Biden's going to be the nominee?
I don't. Me personally,
I don't think so. No.
Julius?
I'm not saying like yes, like I'm rooting for Biden. It's a no for me, but you just never know because like Biden's easy to use. Like he's easy to use. He's easy to boss around. Easy to tell what to do. So they can like. I mean, it's weird. I have this weird feeling. I know. Never mind. I don't want to say anything. I want to say I'm like a Biden supporter, but I just get this weird feeling that there's going to be like another problem with the election where like Biden gets in again, and because he's easy to use. Unless people really want to make a change in the economy with their money, then they'll vote the other way. Because statistically, especially like for example, women, right? They do vote mostly Democrat, but from 2018 to 2022, more women have been voting Republican. So I think now it's like 2022, it's like 49% women are voting Republican, whereas like 51% are voting for Democrat. So you are starting to see that change. So you might see change, but I think that because they can use Biden so well that he doesn't have to do anything. So they might just re-elect him because it's easy to use him to get the Democrats his way.
But they could do the same with Newsom or Michelle, who I think is the other one that's going to pop out of nowhere.
But nonetheless, though, they'll still have a Democrat in. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like they'll have Democrats in because they see what they can do with that and the control that they can have. So, which is unfortunate.
If
but
you
I don't
look
know.
right here, these are the national polls. You look at the national polls alone, and you look at Biden's approval rating in this country, and this is Republicans and Democrats. He has not been a very favorable candidate or president for 4 years now. Their Democrats do not win if they run with Joe Biden. I'm sorry. There's, especially with the young people starting to be more vocal. I don't know if you guys have noticed that more young people are starting to. They are starting to be like, I don't think I like Joe.
Yeah,
they don't like Joe.
But for every Gen Z that speaks up, there's always that other one, the other Gen Z who's like, no, women's rights. So,
I think we need to be focused on boomers. Boomers determine elections, not Gen Zers or millennials. Boomers.
Yeah, but
boomers
now,
and Gen X.
Right, but now you got the boomer. I mean, you might possibly have those boomers who try to like be the friend of like their nieces and nephews and their sons and daughters, and it's like, well, they want to, you know, have a blue hair and, you know, wear pink hats every year, you know. They might just cave to
Look,
that. Unfortunately,
Trump is playing 4D chess. I don't
First
think
of
he
and
can
all,
real quick,
understand.
I'm sorry, real quick. This guy Patrick's Projects, he's
Right.
like so anti-Republican. I noticed it. I didn't want to say anything. I
Bro,
didn't like Ron
I'm close to
DeSantis
it.
and
well,
focus on deflection, but
no,
Who
and you know
cares,
what?
bro?
No, shout out to the liberals in the chat, y'all.
What's up, y'all?
Subscribe to Somewhere in the Middle. You guys will love our show. Okay, we love everybody. This is not a just don't get it twisted. We're for Trump in this instance, but we're not opposed to criticizing him. So like
Right.
and subscribe.
Matter of fact, before we go, can we criticize Trump for this? Since we talking about flip flopping,
Oh Lord, you already
can
talked to me
we
about this. Go ahead.
please
Everybody
get
else.
on Trump? Listen, Trump is trying to win an election. You hear me? He is like, oh, BLM, you supporting me? Okay, I'm very honored to have your support. He go his ass.
yeah,
What
I
do y'all
mean,
think?
so okay, there was a thing back in, I think it was 2020, when the riots were happening, and Trump was like, these thugs, right? But the problem was he was talking about everybody, but people equated that to Black Lives Matter
Black.
and thought that he was calling black people thugs. I actually saw a great debate with Caitlin Bennett, and she went to this college campus, and the girl thought that Trump was calling black people thugs, and Caitlin was like, no, he called the rioters thugs. Why are you equating that to black people? So he did call the rioters, the activists, thugs. That's a true statement. But now that they're saying, because recently, I believe it was either last year, maybe sometime this year, there was a BLM activist that was going to support Trump. So Trump might have caught wind of that, and he's like, I appreciate Black Lives Matter and their support. They support me. I love BLM, always have, great people. So
Wait,
You
can we
black
address
people.
this real quick? Do you know?
Black people.
I don't think white Americans understand how pro Trump black people are.
Well, wait a
I
minute. Let's
think-
not assume Michael Johnson is white. He could be black.
No, he
He
wouldn't
said
say
you.
that. He wouldn't
He
say
said
you black people.
would find out.
Oh, he wouldn't say that? Okay.
Yeah. No.
But this is such a.
There's a lot of pro Trump black folks, bro.
Yeah,
Whether you
matter of
want to
fact,
agree with it or not, or not whether
Yeah.
you want to agree, whether you want to admit it or not. There's a lot of
video that went
pro-Trump
viral.
black.
Well,
Come on, bro.
let's do this here.
Yeah.
Let's do this here. That gentleman is saying that you black people are going to see it, that Trump is all about hate. Okay, now we have a clear distinction of policies: Joe Biden's policies and Donald Trump's policies.
Yes.
Newsflash: which policies actually work best for black folks?
Donald Trump's.
If he's about hate, why would your policies positively affect a race that you say, Michael, that he hates? I'm confused. If that's
Right.
racism, I want more of that. Give me that. Give me more
Facts.
of that racism. I
Yeah.
want that.
Give
And
me that.
also too, you had that video that went viral like earlier this year with those black people, I think like in Atlanta, was basically talking about, I guess it was when Trump came to the town and they was like rooting for Trump essentially because they didn't like Biden. So that went viral. So I mean, yeah, and in matter of fact, I would argue over time, you had people like Savannah Hernandez go to more, you want to call it the urban areas, and talk to them and basically say, what do you guys think about Biden versus Trump? They was like, man, you know what? I rock with Trump. So yeah, I would argue over this past couple of years, you've had black people who say, yeah, I rock with Trump.
Yes. And it ain't even, it's because of Biden. It's not even because of racism. It's because people can't afford gas. People can't afford food. Jobs are not coming back like they were claiming. 6,000 jobs, 3,000 jobs here. What is that doing at a national level?
Yeah.
So Michael, when will we get it? It's been 3 years.
Come on up here, Michael.
Actually, it's been 7. 4 Trump, 3 Biden. How long would it take for us to get it? 10, 20?
Yeah.
I mean, 50.
Give me a time.
I put the
frame, 'cause
link. I
7
put the
years.
link in the chat.
Well,
I put the link in the
also,
chat
too,
if anybody wants to join and come up here. Michael, you're welcome to come up here.
Also, too, this is anecdotal, and real quick, I do have to get going soon. But this is anecdotal. But during Trump's presidency, when I was working Lyft, I've talked to like several. I mean, a lot of Black people. They all told me the exact same thing. My uncle, my dad, my brother, those who own businesses, they're doing a lot better because of the lower taxes that Trump did. So they brought home a lot more money. And they were happy about it. They was like, "Man, I didn't really like Trump, but my business is doing better because of him."
Mm.
So
show me the
anecdotal.
facts. Show
Yeah.
me the facts. The facts do
Right.
not line up with your comments. Unemployment is not lower than ever. That's not true.
What you're doing, Denise, is you are, just spewing a fact that you saw on the White House Instagram page, which doesn't take into account all the jobs that they got rid of during COVID. That, yes, they had to
Yeah.
bring back and replace, and that's why that number went up. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Denise, subscribe to Somewhere in the Middle. We will teach you, baby. Just hit the subscribe button. You gonna learn something.
It's funny too because
Hold on one second. Hold on.
I called this back in 2020. Sorry, Liddell, I was going to say I called this back in 2020. I said if Biden gets elected, what's going to happen is all the jobs that people lost, they're going to come back and then they say, "Oh, look, Biden brought back jobs. Oh, look at unemployment because everybody's coming back to work after being let go."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What were you going to say, Liddell?
What I would say is this here is, hold up, wait a minute. I love when the scripture says you'll know them by their fruits. So if what you're saying is correct, right, about unemployment being as low as possible, how do you explain inflation at record highs? How do you explain them changing definitions when it comes to how to measure inflation? How do you explain them talking about it's transitory, which is a made-up word? How do you explain all of these blockchain stuff? If what you're saying is correct, how do you explain all this other fruit? It didn't make any sense. It didn't make any logical sense. If unemployment is at its lowest mark, how do you explain all of this? Because if he was at his lowest point, none of this would be happening.
Mm-hmm.
How do you explain people actually have? How do you explain people have a records amount of credit card debt because they have to manufacture a pay raise because the wages are plateauing? Inflation is outpacing wages. How do you explain this? Facts,
right?
Numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Don't damn about your emotions. Facts.
Yes.
You got to explain this to me. If what you're saying is correct, none of this will be happening. None of it would be happening. This is ridiculous. I should have sat down and talked about DeSantis. This is how you debate this guy. He's gonna lie the whole time. This is what you're gonna do. This is ridiculous. Don't outright lie about people.
Don't outright lie to the people.
Oh wow. So
bro, cam up.
Come on, Denise. The link. If y'all want the link, I'm putting it in here one more time.
If you guys want to come up here and debate us on any,
you don't
of these
have
topics,
to show your camera. If you guys just want to,
you don't have to show your face.
Let's
go.
I do have to run, but before I go, let me just say to everybody watching, those who are watching on my YouTube channel, I just want to say thank you all for tuning in. Again, I know I said I'd be gone, but I got invited and I wanted to hop on and talk about this. So appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you guys subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Make sure you guys follow me on all other social media platforms. The links are down below. If you want to support this channel, my channel Today with Julius, links are down below. Any questions you guys have, you can always email me or DM me on Instagram at Today with Julius, Instagram.com/Today with Julius. Also, make sure you guys are following Somewhere in the Middle. Let's Talk Darling, Sunny on the Hot Mic, and Liddell Bugs, all on YouTube, all across social media platforms. Deontay, what's up, brother?
D, what's up, baby? How you doing, big time?
Thanks, Julius.
Before you go, though, I want to point something out.
Yo, I was sitting here tripping.
Hold up, hold up, Deontay. Hold up, Deontay. Hold on. Suni was saying, see, okay, wait, now Deontay, we're gonna need to put some rules around you first, okay? So hold on just a second. Suni, go ahead and talk, and then Deontay, we gonna get up.
Let my man cook. Let my man cook a little bit. Chef D.
No. You got a nice hat on,
Julius
right?
talking twice, and I couldn't figure it out. I'm tech illiterate. I'll be honest.
I like Julius's hat. Hold on, can we blow Julius up? I don't think we can. Can we? Can we make yours?
Julius, go ahead and talk. Julius,
do you see this hat? There's Julius's hat, but you know what hat Julius needs? Absolutely. I'm gonna need you to order this hat, and I want to see it on all of your shows. Okay. Anybody who's interested in a bunch of new merch, and I'm talking about winter merch. It's hoodie season. We bringing back beanies, scullies, hats. Go ahead and grab you one of these hats right here. Okay. Truth in the Marketplace Media. It's TITM-merch.myshopify.com. Go cop a hat. I saw your God Bless hat and I felt some type of way because that's anomaly. I want to see some of Sunni's merch on people. What's happening?
I always tend to wear this hat with this shirt right here too. Jesus is cool. So this shirt was given to me by a friend. So
word.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But I got
I'm gonna throw the link for our store in the chat in just a second.
Oh, Sunni, if you know, you know, Rumble went through. If you know, you know.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah.
You got to hook me up with the second batch of that. I would love
absolutely.
To join.
Yeah. When they announced it, I got you. Okay. I will catch you guys later on. Thank you for allowing me to be on the show. Great show. Love it. I'm always down to join. So make sure you guys are following them. Please hit that like button and subscribe, and make sure you guys support and follow them on all the social media platforms. Links are down below. All right, guys. See ya. Take care.
Bye.
Yeah.
Well, I've officially subjected myself to scrutiny. I'm an official conservative for joining this platform. I'm just playing.
No, this is somewhere in the middle.
Right.
Yeah, you don't got to be conservative here. This is a safe space. Not really a safe space, but a safe space, if you know what I mean.
Hey, big
but
time.
But you can't talk too much.
How you doing?
Don't be talking too much.
Chef RLD, what's up, baby?
See, look, she already misrepresenting my character.
I'm just saying, no, you listen, no, you're very smart and you have a lot of great points, but you got to just like a little bit. You know what I mean?
Look, she's being what we call anticipatory. I haven't even done what it is that she's alleging that I'm going to do, and she's just already forewarning me. I mean, look, I respect it. I'm okay with it.
All right.
We do have a question. I want to answer a lot of people's questions because there's some new people here. Why do you guys think that Trump is a good guy? He built an effing wall to stop Mexicans from coming into America. Well, I've never said Trump was a good guy. I said Trump was a decent politician, and he put money in my pockets and many other people's pockets. He also made sure the country was secure, and securing the country means closing the borders. It doesn't mean allowing anybody and everybody to come up in here and take away resources from people who have lived here for their entire lives. So as far as I'm concerned, he could block the Mexicans, the Ecuadorians, the Africans, the Afghanis, the Israelis, the Palestinians. They all can get blocked. You know, it's not me personally, I don't discriminate. If you're not an American citizen, you shouldn't be sucking up our resources.
Yeah.
It's just that simple.
Yeah, I agree. Somebody else asked about, I think it was Denise. She asked about the policies. Name one policy that Trump had that was good. Denise, we have to put a whole show together for that one.
Do you really? We can't just name one. We can start with the First Step Act though. Let's start with that.
First Step Act. What she gonna say about that one?
I want her to have a comeback for that one. That would be an interesting dialogue.
Oh gosh, here we go. Trump.
I didn't even have to go Google that. That was at the top of the dome. It just came on.
I just want to say that unemployment statistics are totally fabricated and fallacious. I put a link in the chat from Mises Institute that explains how real wages are falling and full-time employment has tremendously declined. So what they've done is they've modified the criteria that they use to gauge the level of employment to put out this fictitious perspective that employment is super low. When you look at the real savings rate, which you can just look at that on the Federal Reserve's website, Americans don't have any money. All of the COVID money is essentially exhausted, and credit card debt is at the highest that it's ever been, unprecedented. So, you know, I guess if you listen to Keynesians, you might agree with their unrealistic economic theories, but in reality, that's not what's going on.
You know, This comment that she made, wages aren't falling. So this always makes me laugh because people always say, well, they're raising minimum wage. Yeah. Have you noticed that every store you go to no longer has a cashier? They have a self-checkout. Okay. So the
Yes.
people that they do have working there, yeah, they're getting paid more, but they cut X amount of jobs to make
Exactly.
that increase.
The working class people are going to lose jobs unless they have some sort of tech background to be able to go in and fix these machines, which is why I push a hard line of screw a 4-year bachelor degree in something that really doesn't matter. You better go stack your resume with a bunch of tech certifications and figure out what you're going to do in the years coming, because this country is going towards the tech sector, whether we like it or not.
A union.
She just let
You
me
want
know
great
how-
wages and benefit, get you butt up and get a union job. What?
They love Trump.
She just let me know her mentality. She's all about centralized power. That's all she's about. You say unions are trash.
They are
They're
trash.
terrible. And they crooks.
Mhm.
They crooks.
I wholeheartedly agree. The problem is, right, is what we have to do as non-leftist, and I speak for you and me, Liddell, and I speak for Suni. I won't speak for Mo because she's somewhere in the middle. No, I'm just
Literally, I am.
Mo,
What'd you say I was? What'd you say I was, Sudi? Moderate.
What?
Moderate? I'm a
Yeah,
moderate.
Mo's moderate. She's not conservative.
being a centrist is good. If you're really a centrist, that's a good thing. That is a very important archetype that we need in America, because that can bridge the gap. But then I'm kind of like on my Javier Milei swag, like we can't negotiate with leftists. You know what I'm saying? Because I just feel like there's no reasoning with leftists. They don't live in reality. And when you begin to fact check them on their bogus disseminations of theory, all of the BS theories that they postulate, they just start resorting to insults and ad hominems because they can't argue the reason. So, nevertheless, though, yeah, man, Javier Milei, we need one of those in America. I just hope we get somebody like that, young. Biden and Trump are close to croaking. So we need some young people.
I love him. I love him.
We got another question. Which Republican candidate would you vote for if Trump didn't run? What are your thoughts about Vivek Ramaswamy? I am the main person here who is not participating in the general election, so it really doesn't matter who the Republican candidate is. I am not voting. I will be voting locally, and I do tell people, you need to vote for Trump. He is the best option. He is the lesser of two evils. Sorry to break it to you, and that's exactly what you're voting for. So if anybody's going to go vote Donald Trump 2024. And I like Vivek Ramaswamy just because he's young. He's young. He's got great ideas. His stance on foreign policy is amazing, holding other countries accountable. I don't like his stance on Israel. I won't lie. But everything else he's got to say, it's appealing. People want to hear it. And it's common sense.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, Sonny.
What's up?
But feel free to not to withhold your answer. Is there whose position on Israel do you like?
Whose position on Israel do I like?
We got to be careful talking about Israel, Deontay, by the way. So don't go too far into this.
Shout out to Israel.
Even if you say that.
Are you sure you want me to answer that?
Shout out to Bibi Netanyahu.
Here's what I'll say.
Look, I'll stop, Mo. I'll stop.
If you take a little bit of Fuentes and you mix it with Trump, because Trump is standing very much so centrist on this issue.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at with it.
I'm not familiar with Nick Fuentes' position to
look into it. We definitely can't talk about him on here, but just look into it.
Yeah, see, I think that's like, and I'll be very, very cautious here, Mo. I think that's representative of everything that's wrong with the country, right? Like, this is Orwellian, right? Like, if you what is this? There's like this Greek philosopher that I came across. I think his name is Euripides. He said to not speak one's thoughts is slavery. And so it's almost like if you can't express your thoughts unadulterated, right? Do you really have free speech?
No.
And I mean, No, right? And so I think the problem with our whole political framework is that, I honestly don't blame the politicians. I think it's the fault of the people. I think people, as long as people prefer entertainment over education, facts will never matter.
Mhm.
Correct.
Yeah. Denise, don't get it twisted. I could give 2 Fs about that situation. Okay. Like I'm all about America and what we have going on here. I don't care about those 2 places at all.
Do you even realize Trump has changed his opinion? I don't care. We're American. I'm America first. All of my views are going to be what's best for America. And what's best for America is not inserting ourselves in foreign conflicts that have nothing to do with us, especially foreign conflicts that have been going on since forever. Okay. Long time. And then you have these conflicts arising because each side of the political spectrum, whether it's Israel or Palestine or America, we're funding these militia groups. So as far as I'm concerned, I don't care. There's nothing that I or any of the 3 people on this screen can do here. Nothing. So what's next? Like, I don't care. I don't care about Trump's opinion. I don't care how people feel on this subject. We should not be sending 14.3 billion out of this country. That's a lot of money
to anybody.
We've sent over 70 billion, if I'm not mistaken now, over to Ukraine. So no. Please.
Yeah.
Vivek doesn't have his own opinions. Red Pill, you're being too harsh on Vivek. No politician really has their own opinion. They're up there to say what the people want to hear.
They are tools.
Trump doesn't have his
Just
own
tools.
opinions.
That's it. Tools. That's it. Tools to push an agenda. I view politicians as tools.
Well, yeah, they have their own opinion, but they don't express them.
Yeah.
Because they have relationships that they have to preserve.
That baby
right?
girl.
I mean, yeah, this baby mamas, man. Y'all
She's so cute.
What's up now?
On the internet
She's
the first
so
time,
cute.
even though I normally, you know what I'm saying, but we'll be a super strong one day. So.
She's cute.
She's beautiful.
Yeah. So and that's the thing, right? It's like tribalism, I think, will be if and when America does fall, tribalism will be one of the primary culprits that or agents of destruction. Because, like I said, if truth isn't priority, right? I mean, then what's the point in telling it? If telling the truth makes you lose popularity, if telling the truth makes you disliked, if telling the truth makes you lose relationships, then why would you tell the truth? What you're going to do is you're going to manufacture half truths, right? That's what you're going to do, and it's convenient, right? So when we say Trump don't tell the truth, I mean, I would imagine behind closed doors these people keep it 100, but
for sure.
But when they get on stage, it's like, let me be selective. I got some donors here. Let me be selective. The mainstream media complex will tear me a new one here. I got to be careful.
Denise. And now I'm going to have to leave because I got to go pick my kids up. But I would love to extend you the opportunity to come on this show.
Absolutely.
And come at me with whatever facts you want to come at, and we can debate facts for facts.
Yeah. Denise, if you want to send an email to somewhere in the middle, what is it? Somewhere in the middle USA at gmail.com. Yeah. Somewhere in the middle.
Well, that's from
just make
Facebook.
sure. Somewhere in the middle USA at gmail.com. If you want to come on here and debate anything. We've been on here for almost 2 hours. We have a show tomorrow, so we don't want to go too long. Otherwise, we're not going to have anything to talk about. But you guys can definitely come back tomorrow for our regular Friday show where we talk about everything, not just politics. We love talking about culture, entertainment, funny stuff. We talk about everything, sex, relationships, everything. Yes, we talk about everything.
I don't be wanting to talk about that, but
Sweetie talks about it. Yeah, Suni's along for the ride. She's more conservative. Again, I'm the moderate on this deal, as I just found out, because I used to think I was conservative until we read the definition, and then I was like, I can't lie. I'm not.
All right. See, look, everybody can vouch for me on this show. I have not bit anybody's heads off. I have not called anyone stupid. I've been very kind of open, right? I've been very chill, but you just earned yourself the badge, ma'am.
Every time.
Because you're just being combative at this point. We have presented several amazing facts that dispute what you're saying. And I offered you a chance to come up here and actually engage in a conversation, right?
Yeah.
And you come back with an ad hominem. So it doesn't even matter anymore because it's repealed the 19th, mute women 2024. And let's see what happens in the next 20 years.
So that repealed the 19th is classic. It's hilarious. Hilarious. I'm going to be a politician right now, and I'm going to withhold my commentary on it.
Well,
wait a minute.
We'll invite you back for another show if you want to come back.
Nobody wants to talk to you about the S word. Like, she's just saying, I'm done with Denise. You don't listen. Repeal the 19th. That's the problem.
It's not that you're a liberal, but it just does that. You just don't sound like a fun person to me. But you know what? Come on the show. I changed my mind. I'm the nicer one of the two of us. So
no, she's not. Don't listen to her.
Listen. Hey, Dale, man. The country is crazy, man.
Yeah.
Very crazy. Crazy, bro. It is.
Oh, man. Thank you guys for hanging with us, though.
If you're a supporter of Joe Biden, you should be getting a hand clap of praise. You should be celebrating. Because this is what he said he was going to do. That's what he said. It's what he said. You should be like, this is the greatest thing ever. We have record high inflation. I have a lot more credit card debt. I'm broke. Gas. Two wars. Gas is at an all-time high. Inflation's at a 40-year high. I have to rechange definitions for me to say some stuff, man. We're doing a bang-up job.
Can we just acknowledge, right?
Oh, your mic. What the heck's going on with his mic?
Who, me?
Is that just me?
Yeah, no, I think it is.
You can't hear me?
It's just me?
No, we can hear you, but it's a little staticky.
It's a little staticky, your mic.
Really?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead. You good? We can still hear you.
Is that better?
Mm-mm. Same thing. We can still hear you. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead and talk.
No, I don't like that. Hold
on. Oh, man. Look around the world. The USA has the greatest economy right now.
Is that better now?
Man, that is better. Perfect.
Okay. So just think about this. And maybe it's not unprecedented, right? I'm a young 30, so I could always go study and look at American history to see if this has ever happened before. But we had a governor invite a dictator from an authoritarian country and give them the welcoming of a king to a state in this country.
Yep.
They took a city that is I'll withhold my commentary. They took a city, right, that was very unclean. And they don't clean it up regularly, but they decided to clean it up. So for the Chinese dictator. Now I know, and Joe Biden, right, called it a Freudian slip. I don't think that's what it is. I think he was just telling the truth for once, right? But Anthony Blinken, I think is his name. That viral clip going around of him losing his mind when Biden called him a dictator. Man, that's priceless, right? Because that perfectly represents and it confirms that Biden is not operating on his own will or his own accord, right? That he's doing the bidding of somebody else. And so, I mean, when I say that we're living in, and what's disturbing about it is it's almost like people are apathetic to it. They're not concerned. And when I see people around me not concerned about what's going on, I'm like, okay, maybe I'm crazy, right? But I don't know. Yeah.
You definitely not crazier than Denise. Okay. Because Denise takes the cake going crazy. You're on mute, Suni.
Okay.
I got an answer, but go ahead, Liddell.
No, brother, go ahead, man. You can probably do a little bit better job than I can because I was finna destroy it. But go ahead, bro.
No. I can't do a better job.
I want to hear it.
I want to hear it. The question in itself, right, is fallacious. And so it shouldn't even be addressed because it does not acknowledge, right, that presidents inherit the financial and decision-making in the economic scenario of the previous president, right, before them, right? That would be the equivalent of blaming the great financial crisis on Obama, even though the actions that led up to that incident were based on Bush, right?
Yeah.
Or the Bush administration. So, yeah. And Clinton.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But I will say, go ahead.
No, you're
right. Go ahead, Sudi.
Yeah. No, we're agreeing. I agree with what you're saying. But I guess I don't understand Denise. I'm not really like understanding what the argument is. Because it seems that we're agreeing more than disagreeing. But you're just mad we're not on a hate Trump train.
Yeah. Well, but did you see that she said she's not liberal? She's a conservative. Did you see that she said that?
She said, "Let me ask you as a conservative." No. I think what she's saying is, "Let me ask."
No, she's conservative. She's a conservative. She's already said it.
What? Hey, I implore everyone to go home, and if you're not home already, and please look up the definition of liberal, conservative, and then also do yourself a favor and look up the definition of libertarian, which is a classical liberal, right? Which is why I said in the comment section, stop calling yourself liberal, because modern liberals are night and day. From modern liberals believe in strengthening the government in central planning. Okay, classical liberals, libertarians, are vehemently opposed to that. Right? So
we can't answer the question because it's inherited. Isn't that didn't he just say that? Why don't you say what president added the most?
I sent a comment in YouTube from Who This. They said, man, Trump gave out the cash on tax breaks so the comment isn't really coherent. And that could just be that they accidentally typed it incorrectly. But I just want to say this. You don't give tax breaks to poor people. Poor people don't need a tax break. Poor people don't make money to get a tax break. Poor people are subsidized by the government through social programs. Never mind. Just never mind. Reading is fundamental. Reading is fundamental. I'm telling you, if you read, you will be empowered.
Read. It's freeing.
So guys, before we go, somebody asked for our socials. I'm just going to go ahead and throw mine up there really quick. If you guys want to follow me on YouTube, it's Let's Talk Darling on YouTube and Instagram. And then somewhere in the middle, USA on Instagram and YouTube, if you want to watch from there.
What's up with you, Mario? I see you, baby.
Mario. I'm on here as D-Blade4. That's my YouTube page. That's my Instagram handle. That's you guys follow me on TikTok. Same YouTube, same handle on every platform.
So D-Blade, the number 4 or
D-Blade Ford, F-O-R-D.
Oh, F-O-R-D. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
B as in Delta, B as in boy, L as in Lima, A as in Apple, D as in Delta, E as in Echo, F as in Foxtrot, O as in Oscar, R as in Romeo, and D as in Delta.
Gosh.
Shout out to the military men, man. And I'm not. Shout out to the service.
Donkey of the day. Dang, that's a strong statement, man. It's kind of strong.
Go ahead.
Y'all already know where to find me. You guys see me every Tuesday, every Friday, whenever I pop my face on here. But go follow me on Instagram. Literally not Suni Blanks.
Like it says. Liddell?
Go follow.
For me, it's my first and last name. That's it. And when you see it.
You see
it. Just don't tune in on Super Bowl. I'm never Super Bowl because they won't make it. But make sure y'all don't tune in when football's going, because he gonna get on the internet and invade your entire timeline,
your life
with
you gotta be a Cowboys
cowboy
fan.
rhetoric. Just bro, it's nuts.
See now.
Calm down. You don't woke up a sleeping giant. Calm down.
Oh Lord, here we
Uncle,
go.
Go back to your pose. Your pose was fly.
Uncle Dale is hitting it. All right. Uncle is hitting it. All right. Watch your tone. Okay. Respected thy elders. Huh?
What's the score right now?
95. They ain't won nothing since 1995. And watch, you know what he gonna say? When is the last time your Pantherettes won something? Never.
Oh.
Hey, here we go. There's Red Pill. That's my cowboy.
Yeah, notice I took that down. Hey,
let's end this show before they get a W and we got to see your big grin.
But wait, what's the score? What's the score real quick? Oh, 38-35. Okay, thank you, Ronald. Oh, 41-35.
Don't nobody care about the Cowboys, man.
It's 35-41.
35-41. Okay.
Was good, Mario. Yes, sir.
All right. All
See,
right.
y'all better take the W. I can't.
I appreciate y'all letting me up. Listen, I know that. See, I broke through barriers today. This is just as powerful as the civil rights.
Right. If you play your cards right, maybe we'll bring you on a little more often. Hey, you know what, Sudi? Deontay gets to be here when we play our outro that he perform. Like, you know, the outro that I'm like, that looks like Deontay. Watch, okay, y'all, real quick. Look at Deontay, because when we end the show, we're gonna play an outro, and it's Deontay dancing on a basketball court.
Look like you, bro.
Okay.
Okay. Man, they don't got that hairline. Though. I ain't gonna lie.
It's got that exact hairline. All right, you guys, thank you. Sudi, get that intro, get the outro ready. You guys, thank you so much for watching our show tonight. We're going to end it right now because we will be back tomorrow at the same time, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Somewhere in the Middle USA on YouTube or Let's Talk Darling or whatever. Please, please, please subscribe wherever you're watching from. Come back and watch us tomorrow. We promise you guys a good time. Even you, Denise. Come back, baby girl. We're going to fix you. Okay?
Right. Nobody leave after the show. Nobody leave. And make sure we, pray for the Cowboys in this loss in their time of bereavement.
They said something so offensive, but only if you get offended. I can't offend you without your permission, and you don't even have to listen. They said it's something